Welcome to the Samwell B12 experience,
where we have you covered for the Toronto Maple Leafs, Blue Jays, and more. Make sure to subscribe today.
You're watching Samwell B experience.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Here we go. It is draft night tonight, and I hope you are pumped because I am pumped. There's so much to talk about. There's so much going on in the world of hockey over the last couple of days. It's going to be crazy. And of course, it is the Chicago Blackhawks. The world is watching tonight. We're going to see how they are going. So, Mike, what's going on? Good to see you. EC3, how's it going? Hockey from home, hello there. On the go with CeeLo, what's going on? Preds are going to have a big night tonight. Preds actually have the most draft picks of any team, so it's going to be huge for them. Pittsburgh Penguins fan, what's going on? Good to see you. Annie, hello there. Welcome in, everybody. We're going to have some fun tonight. This is crazy. Right now, draft night is where it's at. Connor Bedard, where is he going to end up? I think we all know he's going to Chicago. Come on, let's be real. Francisco, how's it going? But the talk of the town tonight, yes, it's Bedard, but it's what has led up to this evening. Where are things going to explode? All these signings, all these trades, we're going to get into it. We're going to talk about it because there is so much to bring you up to speed on. Jordan, how's it going? What's up? Welcome in. Great to see you. So the world of hockey, the eyes have come to Nashville. We had the NHL awards going a couple of nights ago. We'll talk about the winners. I'll be honest, I wasn't a big fan of the show. I wasn't a big fan of the NHL awards show this year, but we're going to see it. Ducks got number 2. Who are they going to get? Michael, we will see momentarily. It's going to be very interesting. Who goes number 2? Who goes number 3? I've been watching the rankings. They have been moving like crazy. If you would have asked me several days ago, I would have told you Adam Fantilli is the number 2 for sure. But he's actually dropped down a little bit. MICHKOV has moved up. He's kind of sitting in that number 2 spot right now. So where's he going to go? What's it going to be? We'll see. Who's going to trade up? Who's going to trade down? There's so many questions to talk about and answer. Theo, how's it going? Welcome in. That's so interesting with no picks. It's always tough when you don't have those picks and you're just kind of sitting by the sides watching to see what happens. Duke, good evening. Welcome in. So this is how it's going to roll for us. We're going to bring you the picks as they're made. We're going to update our pick tracker down below so you will know which team has taken who. And of course, gosh, there's just so many to talk about. Here's a list. So many. These are all the players we expect to be going tonight. Connor Bedard, of course, Fantilli, Benson, Will Smith getting jiggy with it. He's going to be here. No, it's a different Smith. MICHKOV, Leo Carlsson. There's so many great players that we expect to go. But I think there's only one way to open up tonight's show, and that's talk about a little of what's taken place over the last couple of days. We're going to skip past the NHL awards, and we're going to go right to the trades because there's been a whole lot of trades that have happened. First, if you missed it, we're going to go back to June 24th. Ryan Johansson and Alex Galchenyuk swapping teams. Johnson to the Avs, Galchenyuk to the Preds. We saw Sean Durzi go from LA to the Arizona Coyotes for a second-round pick. We saw Chicago and Boston just the other day make a huge change. Taylor Hall and Nick Foligno going to Chicago. Chicago starting to really stack up. And, of course, Ian Mitchell and Alex Regula going to Boston. We saw Kevin Hayes go to the St. Louis Blues. So, Blues fans, Kevin Hayes is coming your way in exchange for a 6th-round pick. And I like Kevin Hayes. Kevin Hayes is looking real good. Montreal getting in the mix early. They made a major trade, picking up Alex Newhook. It was actually the rights for Newhook, and then they were going to sign him. So he picks up, or Montreal picks up Alex Newhook for a 1st-rounder, a 2nd-rounder, and Fairbrother. So a big trade there. Colorado dishing Newhook to Montreal. Then a ridiculous trade an absolutely mind-blowing, ridiculous trade between the Winnipeg Jets and the Los Angeles Kings. And we're going to talk about this all through the night because I'd love to hear your input. But Pierre-Luc Dubois goes to the LA Kings, and apparently somebody has Pierre-Luc Dubois really high on a pedestal because for him, LA gives up Alex Aiello, Rasmus Kupri, Gabriel Vilardi, who Vilardi was one of their spark plugs this past year, and a second-round pick. They also then signed Pierre-Luc Dubois to an outrageous contract that we're going to talk about in a minute. RK, how's it going? Welcome in. Good to see you. Nice for dropping by. Gerard, how's it going? How do you like that new hook? I love that deal. I think new hook is going to be a stud. He's still a kid, right? And the fact that the Avs moved him, I was shocked. Let's see. Mackenzie Blackwood moves to San Jose. Then another big one, which took place yesterday, late in the evening, Tyler Toffoli. Toffoli was rumored to be actually in a deal potentially coming to Toronto, which, thank God, that didn't happen. But I love Toffoli. He's a good goal scorer, a good player. He goes to the New Jersey Devils in exchange for Igor Sharkovich and a third-round pick. So Calgary moving things around, Tyler Toffoli going to the Devils. Then a couple of picks coming through today, and these ones surprised me a little bit. We had Ross Colton. He goes to Colorado for a second-round pick. That's right, Tampa Bay moves him for a second-rounder. And, oh, yeah, I got to do that. Hang on one second. Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. I made a whoopsie-daisies. Let's see. Dave, if you're in the chat, I'm scrolling back through our messages to find an old one to send you. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Wow. All right, give me 1 second. Well, I'll keep scrolling while I'm talking. So Ross Colton going over, and then the big one, a very big one that came through, and this one surprised me. From the Vegas Golden Knights, they send Riley Smith. Riley Smith, who is a beast for them. Riley Smith moves over. He goes to the Pittsburgh Penguins as the Penguins are getting things lit up. He goes to the Penguins in exchange for a third-round pick. So Riley Smith, how they give up Riley Smith for a third rounder, I do not understand at all. I got you, Dave. I'm copying and pasting. There we go. Hopefully that one will work. Hopefully I sent it to the right person. Let's see. Giles in Ontario, what's going on? I hope the Leafs get Quentin. Must be on tonight. So the Leafs, we're going to talk about the Leafs. The Leafs making some big moves. So those are the trades that we kind of went through quickly. Let's take a look. There we go. Let's bring in a guest who's going to talk some hockey with us. Let's move this. And let's bring the boss, the hockey guy. Not the hockey guy, the other hockey guy. Maybe. There he is. What's going on? The bear shark in the house. What's shaking?
What's up, everybody?
How are you, sir?
I feel important. I'm right in the middle of the draft board.
There you go. He is important. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know our good friend and partner, Dave, the bear Sharky, from the Florida Park Explorers. This is Dave. Whoop, nope. This is Dave. And Dave, this is the community. So let's give Dave a huge Samuel B12, a warm welcoming. Here's to talk some hockey with us all. So we were just running through a bunch of these trades that have gone over the last couple of days. And Dallas, what's going on? I see you there. Not much. And Rockin', I see you there as well. Gosh, see, I try to do too much at one time. John, how's it going? I missed you there as well. All right. Lewis, hello there. So let me get your thoughts because there's a couple of trades here that I think are worth talking about. First of all, Riley Smith, Vegas Golden Knight, helps them win the Stanley Cup. They ship him off to Pittsburgh in exchange for a third-round pick. I was kind of surprised by this.
You know, you and I were talking a lot yesterday. Yesterday?
Yesterday.
About And yeah, well, like most of our conversations are hockey. So, you know, it in a salary cap world where you have to make adjustments on the fly based on somebody you traded 8 years ago, and you're still eating their cap space. Um, do I think it's a stupid move? Yeah, I mean, unless there's always so many factors that come into that are behind the scenes no one ever talks about. It's like there's salary cap, there's how length of contract left, who's going to free agency, who's unrestricted, who's restricted. All of those things come into it, but this one, yeah, it surprised me. Like I don't fully get it. Anytime you win the cup and you do it the way they did it, I'm hesitant to break up my team.
Yep. So that one, big shocker. And the other one I wanted to ask you about, because this one I was like, what the hell? Oh, look at Jordan's trying to get the pies going early. Thank you, Jordan. But you missed. Pierre-Luc Dubois goes to the LA Kings for Alex Iafallo, Rasmus Kupari, Gabriel Velarde, and a second-round pick. Who does Pierre-Luc Dubois have pictures of, and how on earth did he get, or did LA get that? Or let me rephrase that. How did LA have to give up that much to get Pierre-Luc Dubois?
He's got pictures of George Paris without his mustache.
Yeah, must be.
I mean, is it a salary cap thing? Somebody needs to clear some space. They got to move some stuff so that this way they could absorb one thing. They want to bring up something from the minors. You want to dump some players. In the world that we live in nowadays, where you've got to be thinking fifth dimensionally, I guess it makes sense. But I'm with you. Like, I looked at that and I went. It was funny because what you said was kind of what went through my head.
It makes
But
no sense. And I'm scanning. I got Twitter open here because there's so much going on, and it looks like Milan Lucic just signed with the Boston Bruins. 1 year, $900K. So Boston, because they're not tough enough, pick up Milan Lucic. That's crazy. This is insane.
Well,
there's so much going on right now.
It reminds me of in the movie Major League when they're like, so I heard baseball players make a lot of money. He goes, well, it depends on how good you are. And she goes, well, how good are you? And he goes, well, I make the league minimum.
Yeah.
So
there you go. Alex, what's going on? Wayne, how's it going? All right, let's talk some signings. Hang on. Gary Bettman is at the podium. Let me turn up what Gary is saying. So while Gary's going to do his warm welcome, and he's going to get booed, Eric Howla from the New Jersey Devils, he signs 3 years, average 3.15. Good for New Jersey. I think it's a decent pickup for him. Jordan Staal, Captain Staal, re-signs in Carolina for 4 years, just under $3 million a year. So again, I think that's pretty reasonable. Jordan's kind of on his down slope, if you will. Nick Foligno, who I'm still angry at for the way he came and left in Toronto. Nick Foligno signs in Chicago 1 year, $4 million. I think that's a whole lot of money for Nick Foligno. Pierre-Luc Dubois, here's the guy that they just gave up a ton for. He signs an 8-year deal. Are you ready? Are you sitting down? Of course you're sitting down. 8 years, $8.5 million average a year. $8.5 million for Pierre-Luc Dubois.
All right, now I'm convinced he does have pictures of somebody.
I don't understand it. TJ, what's going on? Road Warriors welcoming. Can we trade Bettman away? I'm trying.
Hey, hold on a second. Here's an honest question. What would you trade him for?
It doesn't even matter. First offer,
let's see what the chat says. Chat, what would you trade? And keep it clean. What would you trade Bettman for?
So that would be, I'd even package Bettman and Peros. Put them together. There goes TJ says a pack of hockey cards. But TJ, not just any pack of hockey cards, like an early 91, 92 that were over mass produced and not worth anything. That's kind of where I'd put them in.
I'd do it with some Garbage Pail Kids.
Oh, no, but those are too cool.
That's true.
Our case is Justin Trudeau. Oh, dear Lord. That's
That's
awesome.
X.
So other trades, signings, Dandanoff signs in Dallas. 2 years at 2.25. Like that. Dandanoff, good player. Igor Sharnkovich, who just moved over to Calgary in a trade, he signs there at just over $3 million. Okay, fine. David Kempf, and I love this signing so much. David Kempf signs back in Toronto, 4 years at $2.4 million. It's a little high, but truth be told, if he would have went to free agency, he would have been about 3.25. So he gets a good deal to stay in Toronto. He was amazing, shorthanded, amazing in the face-off circle. I love this signing by Toronto.
You know what I love? I love in your chat how it says, Colorado, please get a good goalie. And I think it was this guy last year when they announced who'd they take from us? Georgiev. And I sat there and I said, bad move. You're not going to like it. And look what Colorado's screaming for. We need another goaltender.
Yeah, he did me so good in the hockey pool. John, how's it going? Jonathan, welcome in. Another big signing today. Timo Meier in New Jersey. They work out a deal, 8 years, $8.8 million. Now puts him the most expensive Devil. And I think the Devils, their top 5 superstars are all between 7 and 8 million. So they don't have any of these 9, 10, 11, 12 million dollar guys. I think New Jersey, as much as I hate to say it, they're going to be a really good team for the next 4 or 5 years.
So since they proved me wrong this year, I'm going to agree with you.
Yeah. And then a couple smaller signings. Pontus Holmberg signs an extension in Toronto. 800,000 cap hit, nothing. And then Ivan Barbashev, he re-signs in Vegas 5 years at $5 million. So that's a good signing there. Barbashev, again, another key player in the playoffs, $5 million over 5 years. So they're getting themselves set up. Let me turn this down a little bit. So those are all the signings. Those are all the trades that have happened. We'll talk a little bit more about them over the course of the night, but I just want to kind of go through a lot of what has happened over the last couple of days, because there's been a lot. But we're about to get going with the NHL draft. We're about to go with the number 1 pick. Chicago is on the clock, and I think it's important to talk about the number 1 pick isn't always who you think they're going to be. We know Bedard is going to be a superstar. But when we look at Slafkovsky, he ended up playing last year in the minors. Owen Power, the year he was drafted, not so good. Lafreniere, a little surprise, right? Going back over the years. Jack Hughes, took him a couple years to get going. You know, Nico Hischier, not good out of the gate. But then you get to like Austin Matthews, Connor McDavid, Aaron Ekblad, Nathan McKinnon, 5 good solid years of number 1 picks who have really surprised. But here, let me throw a couple names at you that you're going to say, really, they were number 1 picks? A little surprising. Nail Yakupov was the 3rd Oilers first round pick in a row. They took Taylor Hall, Nugent Hopkins, then Yakupov. If we scroll down the list, Rick DiPietro, he was okay. Yeah, that's about right. Patrick Stefan. So their names here, you've heard them. You know what they're going to do, but they don't all pan out to be, you know, the big superstar that we expect them to show up as. So
you mean the generational player?
Yes, the once in a lifetime that comes around every year.
Yeah.
So we're going to see. I'd be shocked if right now Chicago doesn't stand up and say Connor Bedard's name. But stranger things have happened. Do you think they're going to shock the world, or are they not that ridiculous?
I don't think they're going to shock the world. I think at this point they had a fire sale and it's time to start rebuilding. And what do you do when you rebuild and you have the number 1 draft pick? You take the best player on the board.
And here they come up to the podium. I'm going to preemptively drop his name. Oh, I'm going to have to recolor these every time. That's going to be annoying. So let's wait as they come up to the podium.
Boo-doo-boo-boo. And the 2023 NHL Draft, the Chicago Blackhawks select. Is it too early for that?
Here we go. Let's get the audio in here. Hopefully this comes through.
The Blackhawks fans here tonight and all the Blackhawks fans watching around the world. And with the first overall selection in the 2023 NHL Draft, the Chicago Blackhawks are very proud to select from the Regina Pats, the Western Hockey League, Connor Bedard.
Buddy, Connor Bedard goes first overall. Who knew this was coming?
A guy on a channel that I watch from time to time.
Listen, good pickup. Obviously, you know, he is the hockey man. Let's do this. Why does this get so loud all of a sudden?
Gritty's on your face, baby. Yeah, getting gritty with it.
There we go. So Connor Bedard, for those of you who have no idea who Connor Bedard is, he's a true speedster. Nobody plays faster. He has a fast stick, accurate shot, quick release. He moves quicker and quicker as he's been getting older. He routinely strips the puck. So again, great stick, dangerous down low in the net. He's just been an absolute monster. And let's see if I can find some of his stats here because it's ridiculous. Connor Bedard, in this past year in Regina, in 57 games, he had 71 goals, 72 assists for 143 points. In the Canada World Juniors this past year, in 7 games, he only put up 8 points. In 21-22 in Regina, in 62 games, he put up 100 points. He's been matching the pace of Connor McDavid through minor hockey. This guy is just ridiculous. And by the way, he's only 5'10". 5'10".
I thought you were about to go, and by the way, he's only 15.
He's only 15, yeah. He's a beast. If you watched him at all, he's 5'10", but he plays about 6'2". He goes in the corner, he hits, he plays with a chip on his shoulder. He's just an absolute monster. So this is a huge, this is a franchise-changing selection, if you will. Would you agree or disagree?
Well, yeah, because, like I said before, they did their fire sale. They said, Taves wasn't coming back. Obviously, Rangers picked up Patrick Kane. What do you start doing? You got to, at some point, you got to start to say, okay, what are we going to base our franchise on? That's what they're doing here. They got rid of it. They knew where they were headed, and if they're smart, they're going to start with a hefty rebuild. Go out and put an army around this kid and get it going.
Yeah. So here's what Chicago's looking like right now. First of all, their entire team is restricted or unrestricted after this coming up year, so they are in a perfect spot to rebuild. So they have Taylor Hall signed for 2 years. They have Tyler Johnson signed for 1 year. Andreas Athanasiou, who I can never pronounce, they have him for 2 years.
Bless you.
Gesundheit. Nick Foligno for 1 year. So there's some good players up front. They got Taylor Radish in there. The rest of the team is up for grabs. So this is going to be a complete rebuild. They got some decent defenders with Seth Jones, Nikita Zaitsev, Jared Tenorti. Their goaltending situation needs to change drastically because Alex Stalock is an unrestricted free agent, and Peter Mrazek, you just don't want him as your goalie. So
no,
a complete rebuild, a complete face wash for Chicago as they're rebuilding their team, and they've now got the player to do it around. So it's going to be very interesting to see what moves come up for Chicago in this rebuilding process.
Agreed.
But good for them. Listen, I was kind of hoping, somebody would have traded Chicago to take the #1 pick. But that's not going to happen.
Like Toronto?
Yeah. Give them. Listen, well, that becomes an interesting debate, right? Would you trade your superstar for this number 1 pick? He looks good today. What's he going to be like in 2-3 years?
Well, it depends on your team. Like for you guys, I don't know that I would do it. My team right now, like if you look at the Rangers, who do you think number 1 overall is? I mean, most people would say Mika. You got Panarin. Panarin's not played spectacularly. I mean, he's been good, but not great. Do you start to take a chance since we went through a rebuild and it looks like we stumbled? You never know. I mean, every team has a reason why they would want to go after a kid like that.
Yep. And Surf Bum's calling Adam Fantilli next. So this is going to be an interesting one because the stake in Fantilli has been dropping a little bit, and MICHKOV has actually been moving up. So it's going to be interesting to see who goes in this number 2 spot. There was also rumor that Montreal wanted to trade up to number 2. They're currently at number 5. So they obviously had a thing for one of these 2 players. So does something get pulled out here? Do they move up? It's going to be very interesting. But the history of pick number 2 usually hasn't been that great. I mean, New Jersey picked Simon Nemec. He was okay. Matty Beniers for the Kraken was a steal. Matty Beniers just won Rookie of the Year this year. So he was a great pick. Quentin Byfield, Capo Caco. Well, you've told us all year your feelings on the Capinator. Sveshnikov was a great number 2 pick. Nolan Patrick, everybody's saying who? Patrick Laine, and that was the year Patrick Laine went number 2. Everyone argued he should have been number 1 over Matthews. Well, what's Laine doing these days? Jack Eichel, he was a number 2, just won a cup. Good for him. Sam Reinhart was a number 2. Alex Barkov was a number 2. So you can see there's a lot of up and downs in these number 2 spots. Jason Spezza was a number 2. Danny Heatley, Daniel Sedin. So who is going to end up number 2 today? I would love to see it be Fantilli.
I'd love to see Samuel get drafted number 2.
Samuel, he deserves it. He works hard, that kid.
He's a hardworking guy from what I hear.
So we're going to see. I'm going to move these screens around because I was going to try and do something earlier, but of course, you know, the power of technology didn't want to cooperate. So we're going to move our screens around. Is anybody in the chat? Are you surprised? You're not surprised. All right, let's rephrase that. I was going to say, are you surprised Connor Bedard is in there? Who do you think goes number 2? MICHKOV, or Fantilli? Let's see what you think. Is it MICHKOV or Fantilli? And while we're waiting for these guys to come up and take the stand. Uh-oh. I didn't know like that. While we're waiting for the response to come in, just so you know, Adam Fantilli is 6'2", 195 center out of Michigan. And MICHKOV, he's another 5'10", 172 pounder. So another small kind of forward, but his stake has been going up. What would you do if you were Anaheim?
Well, remember last year, what did we have, like 5 guys over 6'5"? Like, it was nuts. True. This year, everybody's under 6 foot. You know, you got, again, I draft kind of, I use what's called the New York Giants mentality of drafting, which is, it doesn't matter if I need it, I draft the best player on the board, period. And what you have to do is, you can't assess always by position. I mean, if you have a positional need, I get that. But do you want to take a chance on positional need, or do you go after the best?
Here we go. Whoa! Off the board! Leo Carlsson! Leo Carlsson! Wow, did not expect that one. Leo Carlsson was actually rated ahead of MICHKOV. I'll never be able to pronounce his name. He's 6'2", 194 pound center. Wow. Did not have that on my radar at all. So Leo, I'll tell you about Leo Carlsson in a second. Wow, I'm shocked here. What a pickup. All right, so last year, Carlsson, in 44 games, he only had 25 points. In international play, he was about just under a point a game on average. So I'm shocked at this one. The central scouting, where did that window go? The central scouting, wow, had him way down, had him 16th overall.
That's crazy.
What? That is the surprise. Hey, Lori, welcome in. Colby Armstrong
You kinda-
just on Sportsnet. Wow. Good
It's
for Colby.
Dubois backwards. Like who does he have pictures of?
I'm absolutely shocked. I honestly thought this guy was going to be a mid-rounder. Gerard is going nuts. He's bringing out the duck. He's pumped about that move. Wow. So, listen, this is good. This is great news for Columbus and San Jose, because all of a sudden MICHKOV and FANTILLI drop down. Columbus is in one of those big rebuilding periods themselves, where they've been bringing in, trying to, hype themselves up. They were very disappointing last year. They have Line A on their team. They have Johnny Gaudreau, Alexander Texier, Kent Johnston, a lot of good young people, Liam Foudy in there as well. So it'll be really interesting now. They're going to bring in another youngster. Boy, Columbus. It's still going to take them a couple of years, but I think they're stacking the deck in their favor. So CARLSSON here, he's supposed to be a power forward with good moves. He makes good plays off the rush. He has an excellent ability up the middle and over towards the wing. So a pretty good all-around power forward. The question is, playing overseas, is that going to transcend into the NHL world? Obviously, it's going to take him a little bit of time to get used to it. Wow, I'm still shocked. Curtis, how's it going? Yeah, shocked me as well. This is like, next you're going to tell me the Arizona Coyotes are getting a 15,000 seat stadium? Like, what?
No, it's 8,400.
Oh, 8,400, right. I didn't want to, I gave him too much credit.
Baby steps, dude. Baby steps.
Baby steps, that's right. I can't believe they made that move. Wow. So if you look, where's that screen here? Sorry, it's going to cover your head for a second. Leo, so on this list, Leo was down here at number 6. So Leo jumps all the way up to number 2. That was pretty impressive. Wow, I'm
Busted.
still shocked.
Yeah, that's insane. When you see something like that, that's a big difference. That's not swapping 2 for 4, 2 for 5. As you're saying, it's 2 for 16. That's a huge... They must know something or have a need that's unbelievable.
Darn, my Bear Shark redeem still isn't working. Ha!
I'm right here.
There you go. Listen, good
If they
for
put
him.
in Bear
Good
Shark redeem, I'll just go like this.
Perfect. I don't know why it's not working. It's the only one that doesn't want to work. Well, listen,
Hey, it sounds like me.
that is a surprising pick. I love it. I love when teams do this. They go off the beaten path. Matthew, how's it going? Welcome in. Thanks for joining us. Again, as you're coming in, hit that like button for us. And if you haven't yet, hit that share button as well and drop the stream out on your socials. We would appreciate it very, very much so. So pick is in for the Columbus Blue Jackets. We're just waiting for them to come up to the podium. I can't wait to see what they're going to do here. Are they going to go off the board again, or are they going to pull up something surprisingly? When we look at the history of number 3, in recent years, Cooley, McTavish, Struzal, Konkaniemi, Kirby Dack was a good pick. Hiskinen. Hey, there's that Pierre-Luc Dubois guy. He third round pick, or third pick overall, and he just signed for a lot of money. Dylan Strome, Draisaitl was a 3rd rounder. Huberdeau, Bogosian, Tourist. So again, all over the place with who pans out and who doesn't. Let's hear what Columbus has to say. Let me turn this up. They're still shaking hands. Waiting for the Sens pick. There you go, RK. John's saying Will Smith. All right, come on, Columbus. Make your pick. Somebody step to the microphone. It's not hard. They're all just standing there looking at each other. John Davidson looks rough, by the way. Here's John Davidson.
Thank you, Nashville. We appreciate the great time you've shown us all. Congratulations, Vegas. To a hockey lifer and a good friend, David Poyle, again, congratulations. Good man. Our fans back in Columbus, they're called the Fifth Line. They are at Pins in Easton. Have a party, gang. We appreciate y'all. To make our pick, I'd like to invite our general manager, Jarmo Kekalainen.
Oh, the Kekster, Kekalainen, coming up to announce the pick.
Columbus Blue Jackets are proud to select from University of Michigan, Adam Fantilli.
There we go, Adam Fantilli. And I'm sure Fantilli is like, I really wanted to go to Anaheim. So, for those that don't know anything about Fantilli, he has been a real solid player. We watched him for Team Canada over the couple World Games in over Christmas and in the summer. In Michigan, in 36 games, he had 67 points. For Team Canada in 10 games, he had I lost my spot. 7 games, 5 points. Last year, when he played for, I guess, the Chicago and the USHL in 54 games, he had 74 points. So he's a pretty good guy. He's a pretty great hockey player. 6'2" and 195-pound left shot from Nobleton, Ontario. So good old Adam Fantilli. The question is, will he stay in Columbus or will he be on the move? What would you do, Dave, if you had a chance to draft a guy like this? Obviously, you make the move at draft day. But do you look to move one of these guys before the start of the season?
Yes. That kind of goes with what I was saying before. You draft the best that's on the board. Why? It may not be what you need, but maybe the number 8 team needs it. And if you draft the best, you know, you're always talking about the entry-level contract. Are they going to the AHL? Are they going to ECHL? Are they NHL ready? Each team has a different need for that and a different developmental program. So unless you're taking the number 1 guy and he's ready to go, all other options are on the table. You know, so this is a kid who, if you can, again, I take the best player on the board, then assess who wanted him, who called me in the offseason and said, hey, let's trade up, or let's do this, or let's do that. That's what I would do.
There you go. And Matthew, yes, Ross Colton is on the move to Colorado for a 2nd-round pick. So that's a nice move by Colorado to give them a little bit of toughness and grit and some more hands. So that's pretty awesome. Have they written Matthew's check yet? Not yet, Dallas, but there's something interesting brewing in Toronto right now. So, you know, there was a statement that kind of came out earlier, I guess, through conversations where Matthews had said, and I don't know the exact quote, that he wants a deal that's going to help the team be able to grow around him because he wants to win. And he doesn't need $15 million a year. So he's probably going to end up signing 3 years at like 13 or 12 and a half. Still something crazy. But Matthews wants to win, and he wants to win in Toronto. So he's definitely going to sign. It's just a matter of when. The bigger question mark is Nylander. Nylander wants to get paid and feels he deserves it. I don't know if they have the room to do him. So there is expected tonight, actually, an announcement about Nylander. I've been reading something is brewing, whether it's a trade, whether they're, you know, a sign and trade or just an absolute trade up. So Brad Treliving, actually, because he came over from Calgary, he actually can't sit with the Leafs until Calgary makes their pick at 16. Then he can return. So I think that's interesting. These crazy rules.
Dude, these rules are insane.
Yeah. Let's see here. Any more news? Contract talks between the Leafs and Matthews continue. Deal is not yet close. He loves Toronto, wants to win. Yeah, so we were just talking about that.
So let me
I'm
ask you a
told
question.
his next deal will be 3, 4, or 5 years max, not beyond.
So you and I were talking about when the salary cap goes up in like 2 years. If you're a GM, do you bide your time? Do you say to these players, let me give you a bridge deal of 2 years, let's get you over, and then I'll hook you up?
I think that's kind of the sales pitch right now.
I think
You
so.
want to lock these guys up, and I think you use that to get them there. And it's a benefit of the players too, right? Especially guys like Matthews, they want to win. So, hey, let me sign a 3-4 year deal. Then in 3-4 years, let's see where the team is at. If we're there, if we're getting to the finals and not winning, if we're getting close, all right, then I'll sign another extension. But if in 3 years we're still rebuilding, then it's okay. I'm out of here.
See, the Rangers are famous for 2-year bridge deals. They're like I think we're like the #1 leading team in bridge deal. You give a guy a hefty amount of money, okay? You give him a 2-year deal and you say, "Hey, look, I know you're worth 15. We're going to give you 11.5 for 2 years, and I'll tell you what, 2 years when we redo your contract, you're going to be looking at 16. And I'll give you an 8-year deal." I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm reading right now. Frank Saravilli's repeating the Preds and the Avs are having some pretty serious conversations right now. So curious what they're talking about. San Jose pick is in.
Probably Hoagies.
Probably Hoagies. There you go. San Jose, they're in the CARLSSON sweepstakes. They're looking to move Erik Karlsson. So it'll be interesting to see if that deal gets done today. But here comes Mike Grier. Grier coming up to make the announcement. The fourth pick. I didn't look at the history. Let's see. The fourth pick, Shane Wright was the fourth pick. Luke Hughes, Brady Tkachuk, Puljujarvi, Mitch Marner was the fourth pick. Griffin Reinhart, Ryan Johnson, Evander Kane. So again, it's really hit and miss. More misses when I look down this list than hits. So let's see what San Jose does. Do they go MICHKOV, whatever his name is?
Mitch.
Just Mitch.
He's Mitch.
Mike Grier.
Congratulations to David Poyle. Great career managing. Someone who's been great to me and helped mentor me through along my first year. Also like to congratulate Vegas Golden Knights on the Cup win.
He had to think about that for a second.
Right?
Who was it that won?
Hello and thank you to our fans watching around the world.
Go Sharks, go! There it is, Gerard.
SAP Center tonight. To make our pick, it's Sharks legend, NHL all-time games played leader, Patrick Marleau.
Patty Marleau gets to make the call.
With the first selection overall, the San Jose Sharks are proud to select Will Smith.
Whoa! MICHKOV drops again.
Getting jiggy with it. Getting jiggy with it.
Will Smith going way higher than I thought he would. Smitty. Parents just don't understand.
So, was anybody else disappointed when they said Sharks legend and they didn't say Bear Shark?
There you go. And Patrick Marleau was looking mighty rough there. I think he was on a little bit of a bender last night. But Will Smith, let's get his name up on the board. So he's got a good shot. So Will Smith, 6 foot even, 180 pounds. In the USA, under 18 in about 59 games. Holy moly, yeah, 126 points. That's a lot of points. In Team USA, USHL, 20 games, he had 42 points. So this kid can play some hockey. Wow. The question is, will he pan out the way, they've intended him to? Let me see if there's a little more information here. Highly intelligent playmaker, capable of manipulating tempo and speed of play extremely effectively. He's commanding on everything he does. He needs to improve his impact in the defensive zone a little more and could be a little more physical, but I'm sure those points will come. He's compared to Mika Zibanejad, Sebastian Aho, or Jonathan Taves. Interesting pickup here. Good for San Jose, but I don't know what's going on with this MICHKOV guy. Matev MICHKOV. Why is everyone staying away? Why is he dropping down? Oh, we got a little shimmy. Thank you, TJ, for a little shimmy action. There. Why is MICHKOV dropping so low? Interesting. Very interesting. Well, listen, good for San Jose. They're gonna get things kind of moving and shaking there a lot, and then it's gonna bring Montreal. Montreal is one of these teams that they're always up and down. The Canadiens are known for either being the top or the bottom. They were the first team to ever finish in 32nd place.
So, could you tell that our host is a Toronto fan? Anybody? Just saying.
I don't know what you're talking about. But Montreal, listen, they had the first pick last year. Slafkovsky didn't work out. But they're going to now have a chance to upgrade, if you will. In the 5th pick over the years, Noah Hannafin was the 5th pick. Elias Peterson. There's a lot of not good names on here as well, like Michael Del Cole, who I don't even think is in the league anymore. Lindholm, Morgan Riley, Ryan Strome, Niedermeyer, Braden Shen, Luke Shen, Phil Kessel, Carey Price. There's some good names. Ryan Whitney, Stanziv Chestov, Rafi Torres, Vitaly Vishnevsky.
Hey, say that 3 times fast.
Yeah, no kidding. So the question is, what will Montreal do? We expected them to trade up. They didn't end up doing that. And now it's time for the Canadiens de Montreal. So Will Smith, actually, with the USA national team, has 2nd in most career points at 191, just under Jack Hughes and above Clayton Keller. So good pick. They're gonna see where he goes. Montreal selecting 5th overall for the 6th time in franchise history.
So who do you think Montreal goes with?
Well, now I don't. This is kind of like that situation last year where Shane Wright kept dropping. I would be shocked if they did not take MIKHAIL. The only thing I can think of, he's small. He's 5'10". In Montreal, I think they need a big body guy. You got, if you're looking for a defenseman, you got a 6'2" defenseman in David Reinbacher. You got a 6'4" right winger in Matthew Wood. He's up there as well. So I actually have no idea where Montreal is going to go. Sammy, how's it going? Welcome in. Nicholas, welcome in. Christian, welcome in. Sammy, who's your friend tonight? Who's your friend looking to get drafted? And do they want to come on live for an interview once they get drafted? So while we're waiting for the next picks to come in, we were having a pretty interesting conversation yesterday. And we talked about kind of franchises that maybe they need to move. And I thought, let's open it up to the chat. Let's see to the chat. If you had to get rid of, and we talked about like 5, but if you had to get rid of 2 franchises, maybe that's too easy. Let's make it 3. If you guys chat had to get rid of 3 franchises, what would those franchises be? Because I'd be very curious. Buffalo,
I know.
Yeah, I know you know. Buffalo is drafting 13 tonight. All right, the pick is in for Montreal. Let's see who they pick, and I'm curious to see who you guys feel are the franchises that you'd like to get rid of or you don't think make a big impact. Toronto, Boston, and Chicago, Jacob. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. All right, here's Montreal. Leaf, how's it going?
I'd like to wish David Boyle all the best in retirement. J'aimerais saluer nos partisans.
TJ, Arizona, Calgary, Blue Jackets. Yeah.
On apprécie votre passion. To make our selection, I will invite up our former 5th overall in 2005, Carey Price.
Carey Price coming to make the selection.
Bonsoir. Le Canadiens de Montreal are proud to select David.
He forgot the name. He forgot the name. Someone give him the name.
That way. David Reinbacher.
David Reinbacher. There we go.
Wow, I didn't even pronounce it wrong.
Way to go, Pricer. That's awesome. So,
One too many hits with the hockey puck.
so
Dude, that was epic.
So David Reinbacher, so that's who we were just talking about as a potential 6'2", 194-pound defenseman. I can't believe I pulled that name out, and that's the guy who got drafted. That's awesome. So yeah, MICHKOV dropping to 8th. Wow. All right, let me get this updated. I can't believe what is going on here today. So David, how do you spell this? Reinbacher.
No. David is spelled David.
Oh, darn it, I had that wrong.
I kind of know from experience. But can you freaking imagine you walk up to the podium and you're like, and our overall selection, we pick, hell, I don't know. The guy on the board, just whatever.
It only would have been better if Chicago got up there and say, with the number 1 pick, we'd like to draft Connor McDavid.
Sinead O'Connor, it's one of them. It'll come to me.
David Duchovny.
David Hasselhoffman, Shipburger.
Oh my God.
Breinstein.
That was outstanding. All right, let's get back to these franchises. Kings, Shark, Panthers, Christian would get rid of. So Anaheim,
hang on a second.
Louis, Arizona.
I got to put the nail in the coffin on this. You're the number 1 overall draft pick this year, right? And the highlight will not be you. It will be that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, in fairness, Carey Price was in the back corner putting the jack down. And they're like, hey, you got to make the pick. And he's like, I do?
What
oh,
pick?
my gosh.
I thought we were playing in like 20 minutes, eh? Somebody get me some skates.
So David Hasselhoff, pick number 5. That's awesome. David Ruingartner, Rodeberker. What's this kid's name? Reinbacher. That's it. Oh, my gosh. Wazowski, what's going on? Welcome in. So Harley says Anaheim, St. Louis, Arizona. Yeah, Buffalo, Phoenix, Columbus. So you guys are all kind of in the same realm, right? For me, it was Arizona. You know, I was in there to say, you know, see you later. There were a couple other. Who was it? Arizona. I think San Jose. We kind of talked about either San Jose or Anaheim down there. So in Columbus for me was the other one.
I'd like to see the Penguins go.
Yes, the Penguins, they're making an interesting little rebuild happening here, thanks to some new president of hockey operations.
Yeah, they went to an old age home and found a bunch of alumni games and said, yeah, we'll take you and you and you. And
well, one of the interesting things, you know, Dubas, you know, came out that he was looking at keeping Matt Murray in Toronto. And the rumor has it he'd like to bring him back over to Pittsburgh, a little homecoming, which I would welcome because that would give his cap hit off our books. So it'll be interesting to see what else Dubas tries to steal away from Toronto. Now, ladies and gentlemen, just to make the point, because we haven't said it for a while, if you don't know who this guy is over here, this is the Bear Shark from the Florida Park Explorers. They are in the Disney parks, bringing you the magic, bringing you the merch, bringing you the snacks. They do it all. So if you are looking, there it is, Super Explorer revealing. If you are looking to head down to Disney, if you need to book your trip, you got to reach out to these guys. They will help you book your trip. They will set you up, and you will not regret it. All right.
Thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome. Mods,
I don't even know what to say to that. I was like,
let's get.
I'll be right back.
There you go. Let's make sure to get their get the links in, and of course you can check them out. What's the website? FloridaParkExplorers.com.
That would be one of them.
that would be one of them. There you go. JG, how's it going? Order Dole Whips from the Bear Shark. That's right. Dallas wants everyone to order Dole Whips to go.
I drink liquid Dole Whip.
Liquid, there you go. Liquid Dole Whip. Big Dave, such an awesome guy for a Rangers fan. That's awesome. I agree with you, Surf Bum. So,
hey, not everybody can have an original six amazing red, white, and blue team. I mean, it's understandable.
There you go. At least in the major leagues. Talking about the NHL awards. The NHL awards happened just a few nights ago. It was an atrocious broadcast. It was terrible. But some good things came out of it. The Messier Leadership Award goes to Steven Stamkos. I guess he's a good leader. He didn't do much else this year for Tampa Bay. But Stamkos gets the Leadership Award. Jim Montgomery picks up the Jack Adams Award for coach. You know, can't say I'm shocked there. Connor McDavid picks up the Maurice Richard for the most goals because he had about 1 billion. Chris Letang gets the Bill Masterson. And the Bill Masterson trophy is one where, you know, somebody who exemplifies perseverance, sportsmanship, and dedication and all that. Chris Letang had a stroke and he came back to play. So that's dedication for sure. We'll get back to the winners, but first, here's the All-Star Arizona Coyotes. Let's see who they're invite to play in front of their 5 fans. Oh, sorry, 6,400 or 5,400.
For hosting us this week. And to all of our fans in Arizona at Waste
all 5 of them.
Scottsdale, go Yotes. And to make our selection, I'd like to invite Ryan Janikowski.
Ryan Janikowski making the selection.
The Arizona Coyotes are proud to select from Lokomotiv Yaroslavl Dmitry Simashev.
Dmitry Simashev, good luck with your career, my friend. Arizona.
The Acme Corporation supplied an airbag for your career.
Yeah, the entire staff was wearing the same suit. That was very barbershop quartet-ish there.
It came from the Acme suit company.
So I got to find this guy's name here. So let's see.
I don't get it.
Where is his name? I'll tell you a little bit about him as soon as I can.
It doesn't matter. His career's over.
Simashev. Wow, how far down is he?
He's in round 3.
Here he is. Wow. Ranked 19th by Central Scouting. 6'4", 198-pound defenseman. 29 games, he put up 10 points. So he's not your point getter. So he is a big boy defenseman. Wow.
Hey, you're Coyotes. What do? Hey, let's go get someone who doesn't score any goals. Good idea. Yeah, that was a brilliant move. So far, you know, these boneheads literally. It's like you look up in the GM's office and you see Wile E. Coyote with a chef's hat on. It's like, come on, man. Like, really?
I'm a little surprised here. Jeffrey, how's it going? The Bruins have a pick. They will be right at the end, I believe, of the first round.
They don't need one.
Wow. I like if you're MICHKOV right now, you are wondering what on earth is happening. Why am I not getting drafted? And I cannot. I don't. Maybe it's the size. Maybe, you know, the NHL is getting bigger. Maybe guys are just afraid that he's so small, he's not going to be able to come through. Thumb, how's it going? As long as teams draft players beyond top 15, means better players for the Blackhawks to nab. There you go. Thumb, I guess you're a Blackhawks fan. But welcome in. As you are coming in, ladies and gentlemen, hit that like button. We would appreciate it very much. Terry, how's it going? Good to see you. Of course, all the Coyote fans are Scottsdale. That place is practically Canadian retirees. There you go. This is nuts. I just want to make sure I didn't miss any comments here. This is so bizarre. They're going to go to a commercial break, and while they do that, let's talk a little bit more about some of these awards for those who missed it. Connor McDavid, he wins the Art Ross. I mean, you can't anything Connor McDavid wins, he deserves it. Mikhail Backlund wins the King Clancy. Jeremy Swayman wins the Jennings with partner Linus Ullmark, and of course Ullmark as well wins the Vezina. Listen, what Boston did this year is ridiculous. Boston absolutely destroyed the league. They set records in wins, records in points. You cannot ignore what the Boston Bruins did. I'm just glad my Florida Panthers knocked them out of the playoffs. But listen, good for the Boston Bruins. Judy Sports, how's it going? Cap's going to get the slider. Welcome in. Lucas, how's it going? Coach, what's going on? Good to see you. Chris, hello there. So Lost Anchor as well. That's right. Hockey season is restarting. Matty Beniers for the Kraken. He wins Rookie of the Year with the Calder. Great for him. HONZEK Kopitar wins the Lady Byng. And this Lady Byng is kind of the, how do you say it? The sportsmanship award, the friendliest award. I'm just happy HONZEK Kopitar wins an award because to me, he's one of the most underrated players. He deserves so much and doesn't get it. CARLSSON wins the Norris. McDavid wins the Ted Lindsay. Bergeron the Selke. And Connor McDavid with the Hart Trophy. And what was funny with the Hart Trophy win, they made public all the votes after. Connor McDavid, it was almost unanimous. One person did not give Connor McDavid a first round vote. They gave him a fifth round vote. And they voted David Pastrnak in. So clearly it was somebody who was bitter with Connor McDavid and wanted to give their vote, little pity vote to Pastrnak. But probably the moment of the night, for those that missed it, Connor McDavid did a little bit with a young kid. A little youngster comes up. Youngster was clearly excited to be part of it. And he goes, "Connor, you finally got engaged. I saw the ring. It's so small. It's so small." And McDavid clearly had no idea what to do. And he's like, yeah, she deserved it. And I'm like, she deserved to get engaged or deserved a really small ring?
It deserved a small ring.
It was quite a funny moment. That to me, it was the highlight of the awards. If you missed it, I'm sure it's all over social media. You can find it. The Flyers are coming up. They got their pick in. They had the commercial break to think about it. So do the Flyers...
What did you think of the Hayes trade?
I like that. I mean, I think they could have got way more for him than they did. What was it, like a 4th or a 6th round pick?
That's what I'm saying. Like, didn't it seem like Kevin Hayes went for a bargain?
Yeah, Kevin Hayes, man, he really, really is a good hockey player. I had him in my hockey pool a couple years ago. And I'm shocked. To me, that's a move to just get him out of town.
Yeah, well, it really felt that way. I was like, you know what? It was like, hey, he wants another change. Now, by the way, I will tell you, he's a gigantic baby.
Yeah.
When he played for the Rangers, all he did was piss, pitch, and moan. Sounds like it was the same thing on the Flyers. He got his deal. He didn't perform, and what happens? They were like, let's just dump him. He's not worth it.
Yep. Oh, Danny Briere coming to make the pick. He goofed it as well. 7th selection. MATVEI MICHKOV drops from a potential number 2 all the way down. So good for the Flyers. The Flyers have a bash and crash kind of team. They're a big, tough team, so they can afford to have a smaller player. The Flyers, again, one of those teams that need some skill. Not that I want to take anything away from the people that are there, but yeah, the Flyers need some help. Definitely not a great team at the current moment. Let's take a look at the Flyers and who they currently have. Where are they? Here are the Flyers. So currently on their roster, Travis Konecny, Joel Farabee, Scott Lawton, Owen Tippett, Dolores. Yeah, these guys need help. They don't have James Van Riemsdyk is the biggest star on that team, and he's an unrestricted free agent. Travis Sanheim, Rasmus Ristolainen on the defensive side, and Carter Hart, the goaltender they're trying to move. So yeah, the Flyers, they need to rebuild and rebuild fast. And so I mean, Farabee's a good forward. So I think MICHKOV will fit in nicely here with the Flyers, but it's going to be some time before we see a return for the Flyers fans. Hey, Mark, welcome in. We miss you too, buddy. We miss you too. Theo, what's going on? It brings in a Rangers fan and co-host. Seems like a nice enough guy, though. Yeah, Theo, nobody's perfect.
Especially the Rangers.
Where do the Rangers pick again? Oh yeah, 23rd.
Yeah, sometime tomorrow.
Sometime tomorrow. It's going to be interesting to see what the rest of these teams do now. The picks have been all over the place. Not as we thought they would go. Still a lot of good players. The one good thing with this draft year is it is very, very deep. MICHKOV will need a few years in the AHL to develop. That's why he dropped so much. That's true, TJ. That's true. I agree. He will need some time there for sure. Hayden, what's going on? I love the Kemp signing. Kemp signing is great. Is that the Bear Shark? That is the world-renowned Shark de Bear, as he's known in Montreal. Love it. You gotta be careful when the Shark is around. The way things are going, the Buds might get a better player than expected. You never know. And let's MICHKOV, let me pull up this other list here because I feel like I owe him some love. He's compared to a Pavel Datsyuk or a Nikita Kucherov type of player. Those are pretty important and pretty impressive guys to be compared to. He's let's see here.
Did you say Pavel Datsyuk? They compared him to Datsyuk. Really?
Yeah, he's been a legit player everywhere he's gone. So yeah, being compared to Kucherov and Datsyuk, like those are really, really impressive guys to be called towards. Oh, there you go, Lucas. Let's see, any new moves? How many Bedard jerseys do you think have been sold in Chicago in the last half an hour?
Like 10,000.
There we go. Carey Price had an opportunity to do the funniest thing possible, and he took it. Carey Price.
Hey, everybody. We're going to take the guy on the board. Woo!
So you know what that means. Screen record.
Montreal, we're proud to select David.
Huh?
We planned it that way. David Reinbacher.
Outstanding. We're going to get that posted as a short tomorrow. So for those that didn't see it, you will be able to see it. One of the greatest clips in draft history. Oh my gosh, that was too much. How do you let that happen? Like, how do you not know? And I get it, because we've all been places, right? You go for a job interview, maybe you have to get up for a speech, you have your presentation, you have it memorized, but like you got one name to remember. I could understand.
Dude, it's a note card. It's a note card with the guy's name on it. Like, even if you don't have your glasses, you at least squint and look. You do something.
Oh, that was.
Stand there and go. I don't know. What do I do? That was
just so incredibly awesome. Another reason that Carey Price will not be back in Montreal. He's just continuing to seal the stage.
How many shots do you think he did before he went on stage?
Oh, it must have been a few for sure.
The name that we're picking is Jack Daniels.
There we go. Love it. Love it. All right, the pick is in for the next team up on the board. Where are we going? Are we at the Washington Capitals? The Caps is in. Where are the Capitals going to go? I don't even know what the Caps need. They're such a good all-around team.
I forgot they had a team. They got knocked out so early.
They didn't even make it. Let's see. Because of the way this draft is gone, there's lots of good availability. Let's see what the Caps say.
And congratulate him on an outstanding career. With the 8th pick, Washington selects Ryan Leonard from the U.S. Development Program.
Is the pick. So now, see, the problem is now they've all gone off the board, so the list here is no good. Ryan Leonard. So let's find Leonard.
You know what my favorite thing is? We haven't had a trade yet during the middle of the draft.
We have not. There it is. Ryan Leonard, a 6 foot, 190-pound right winger. He was ranked 5th overall for North American skaters. For Team USA in 56 games, he had 93 points. Wow. In the Under 18 World Championships, in 7 games, he had 17 points. This kid can score. Holy moly. He's put up a lot of points. He is from Northampton, January 21st, 2005 birthday. Very interesting. Let's see what the details are on Ryan Leonard. Who is he compared to? He's compared to a Timo Meier, Victor Arvidsson, or Drake Batherson. He scored the gold medal overtime goal in the international tournament. Ryan Leonard has added a layer of physicality to his game that has completely revolutionized how he plays. He was once a shoot-first sniper. He's added strength that turns him into more of a power forward. He can barrel through opponents, causing havoc in the offensive zone, all while his shot is still incredibly lethal. Major upside here if his feet can keep up to the speed of pro hockey. All right, so he's a big physical guy. He's got a good shot, but he's slow. That's what I get from there. His skating is not up with him. And this is going to be, I think he'll fit in nicely with Washington because the Caps have a few good snipers that could coach this kid along. Alex Ovechkin, Nick Backstrom, Evgeny Kuznetsov, TJ Oshie, Anthony Mantha. There's some good forwards here that can work with this kid and mentor him to come along. So nice pickup here for the Caps. Maybe I should write his name on the list. Washington Caps. Ryan Leonard. There we go. We'll add him in. Let's go back to the Twitter. Wasn't it Bobby Clark who forgot Claude Giroux's? Oh, I don't know. I don't remember that one, Curtis. Will Carey Price ever return to the NHL? And if yes, definitely won't be in Montreal. To be honest, I don't know if he will return. He's had a lot of issues. He's had a lot of trouble. And I know he's been working to get back in better shape, mentally and physically. But it's going to be awfully tough for him. All right, Detroit is on the board. Let's take a look here. See if there's anything happening outside of the picks. No new signings. No new trades.
Isn't this just a weird draft day?
Yeah, usually we get some kind of movement. I need Gary's. We have a trade. See here. So Elliot Friedman is saying the Leafs want Nylander done in the 8s. Willie's camp is asking 9.5 to 10.5. Toronto wants Willie to be in the 8s. If he's looking for 9.5 to 10.5, there's no way you get him for in the 8s. I would be shocked.
Nope.
So if that is legit, if that's actually the case, I would be shopping him around right now.
Especially during the draft, I would try and see if you could make some moves, dump that cap. You guys need cap space too.
Yep, especially for one of these kids who has a low down pick. You know, with
Right.
Columbus and San Jose, Montreal, one of these guys, you flip Nylander who can help their franchise right away, and you pick up one of these guys would be awesome.
Yep. They need to flip that script right now and get it done. You're still in first round. I'd be making phone calls.
Yep. And apparently the Mighty Ducks are going back to their classic logo for this upcoming 30th anniversary season. That's going to be unveiled at some point tonight. So they're going to,
you know that makes all the difference in winning, right?
all the difference. All the difference. I will say, for being Disney's team, and I guess they're not really Disney's team, but they're Disney's team. There's not a lot of Mighty Ducks merch out there. I'm shocked.
So they're no longer Disney's team like they were, but they're not anymore. They deliberately tried to distance themselves, and you know, it's funny because every now and then you see hockey merch come out. Usually it's in Epcot in Canada, but every now and then, like, because I still have my original hockey jersey from when Disney did hockey jerseys like 15 years ago.
Jacob, what's going on? Welcome in. He wanted to drop something over my face. Thank you, Jacob. Of course, the boys getting ready to head out to camp tomorrow. So big shout out to Jacob and Noah.
Jacob.
Here's Stevie Y. Eiserman on the mic. Talk about a good hockey mind. What Steve Eiserman has done is ridiculous.
It's nuts.
Nate Danielson. So he goes, this is a guy who at the midterm, he was 13th. He moved up to 7th. 6'2", 186-pound center from Brandon Wheat Kings, Nate Danielson. He was their captain. Let me add him to the list, and I'll tell you a little bit about this youngster. Anybody named Nate is going to be a good player. I have no idea. So Nate Danielson, in his last 3 seasons in Brandon, 68 games, he had 78 points. The year before in 21-22, 53 games, 57 points. So again, he can score, he can put the puck in the net, he can move things around. So good to see what he can do. Hello, Charlie. Welcome in. What'd you think of the Leafs newest GM? Lucas, it's hard to really rank Tree Living yet. I do like the David Kempf signing, but he's got a lot of work ahead of him to do. So it'll be very interesting to see what Tree Living does kind of after this. And of course, Saturday is free agent day. So all the new GMs for all their new teams are really going to make their mark between tonight and July 1st. I think I said June.
Is that like Tal Day? You just give away your free agents to whoever shows up?
That's true. Yeah, you actually, in the old days before the internet, you used to stand in front of your office with little tags, like when you go to Toys R Us in the electronics and you take the little tag. That's you go to the different teams' offices and you grab the tags you want.
And you get a tag, and you get a tag.
Exactly. Is Musty still available? Musty. All right, let me see. Musty is still available. Quentin Musty, who Mark is going for. Was that Mark that asked? Yes, it was Mark wants Quentin Musty. Musty is 6'2", 200-pound left winger from out of Sudbury. So we'll see where Musty goes. He is ranked a little lower, 14th overall for North American skaters. All right, let's take a look at where Nate Danielson is going to sit. Let's see if we can find him on the list. He is compared to a Nico Heishier or a Philip Deneau. Very well-rounded player, complete controls up the middle of the ice, always in perfect position, so he sees the ice well. It's hard for opponents to beat him on offense or stop him on defense. An incredible aware center that finds a way to create space for his wingers. I love his write-up here. Beautifully managed every ounce of responsibility. There wasn't Brandon. So this could be a great pickup for Detroit. Detroit has such a solid team of youngsters. When you look at Dylan Larkin, leading the way there. Not that he's a youngster anymore. Well, I guess he is. He's only 26. Andrew Cobb from your Rangers is there. David Perron is there. Kabulik, is there. Lucas Raymond. So good little team developing here in Detroit. Do you think Detroit could potentially be a playoff team next year?
I don't ever count out Detroit because at the end of the day, they're Hockey Town USA. And they had to go through the same rebuild we've all gone through. I think that they're finally starting to get those kids to play some good hockey. And I think if they make the right moves, I think they start looking at, do I think they're a contender? No. Do I think they're going to the playoffs? Yes.
Kind of that wild card team sneaking in.
Well, what do you think of their goaltender? That's the biggest question right now because they've battled for years. It's almost a decade without a good goaltender.
Yeah, I mean, Ville Husso, he's got the skills, but he's starting to get a little older. He's 28. And the thing with goaltenders is they have such a small prime window, right? They take a couple of years up front to develop, so they're in and around their early 20s when they really start to pick it up. And then they kind of get to where Husso is and they start to taper off. So I do think goaltending is going to be a challenge for them. They will need to do something at some point. Whether it's later on this draft, making a trade to, get a better goaltender, or they sign somebody coming up as a free agent.
They have no choice because they've been dealing with this. Like you made fun of Mrazek earlier, but that's where he started, which was, he was a Red Wing forever. And he just never materialized. And it's just, they've battled. Even when they had Osgood, I've told you 1,000 times, I never liked Osgood. He did an okay job. He was an okay goaltender. He's not a superstar. So they need something that's going to pull it together in that net. Otherwise, they're not going to go anywhere.
Absolutely. Brian, how's it going? Welcome in. And Lewis, welcome in. I hope the Pens pick up Braden Yager, Riley Hit. Yeah, the Pens still a way to go. I got 4 or 5 picks for Pittsburgh to come up. The way the board has been going, it's all over the place. So I've just
we've waited like 25 minutes for this pick, haven't we?
No. This one is coming up. They're actually walking up now. It's the St. Louis Blues with pick number 10. Talking about goaltenders, there's a lot of good goaltender free agents out there come July 1st that a team like Detroit would be interested in. Jonathan Quick is there. Varlamov is there. Freddie Anderson is there. Bernier is there. I wouldn't want Bernier. Cam Talbot is there. I probably wouldn't want Talbot. Tristan Yari is there. He might be a good pickup. Kubodin is there. Nedeljkovic is there. So there are some potential potential free agents at the goaltender position that might get eaten up pretty quick on Saturday.
Well, it just depends. It's kind of like a garage sale, right? Someone else's trash is the next guy's treasure, and it's like you just don't know who's going to fit in what system, who's going to play well, who's going to play well in front of. There's so many things, but you need if you're going to go the distance, and you know this, you got to have that great goaltending.
Well, St. Louis wasted no time. They got to the mic, and they're like, the St. Louis Blues tick Dalibor Dvorsky. Like, boom, no thanking the city of hosting, no congrats Vegas. They jumped in there. So Dvorsky, 6'1", 200-pound center from playing out of Sweden. He's the 3rd rank from the European skaters. And Dvorsky, 38 games, 14 points out of the IAK. The IAK juniors in Sweden, 10 games. He had 21 points. Last year for IAK juniors in 33 games, he had 40 points. So he's okay. Let's see if we can find to see who he's compared to. Dvorsky, a Sean Monahan, Kirby Doc type of player. A bit of a slow pace, but overall reliable two-way winger that excels when play slows down. So that frightens me right there. This is a risky pick, I think, in St. Louis. today's day and age, today's NHL, this league is fast. These guys can play, and the pace of play is only getting quicker. To take a guy that's notably slower and excels in a slow-paced environment, that makes me very nervous that he's going to have a tough time in this league. He's got to work on his skating. Would you take that risk? Would you take a guy who's notably a slower player?
No.
Yeah.
This league is getting too fast at this point. Everybody's built on speed. I think you're going to have to start seeing, and I hate to say this because I absolutely despise him, but players that are more Tom Wilson-ish than anything else. You need size, speed, the ability to hit, the ability to hold your own, and the ability to pass and score. Yep. You got to be a rounded player in this league, and if you're too slow, they're going to blow past you. You're going to get benched. It's going to ruin your confidence. Or you're going to be done.
Yep, I agree with everything there. Mark, not yet. We're waiting for word when Dubas is going to take Murray off of our books. Waiting at the edge of our seats. With DVORSKY, so like we said, he drives offensively. He has a quick release, the ability to score. He's over 50% in faceoffs. So that counts for something. But again, when you're drafting in the first round, you know, granted, he's not going to be there in the second round. To me, this is a late first round pickup. I think, you know, they're taking a risk picking him as high as they did, but you never know. That's the fun part with these drafts. You never know how these guys are going to turn out. You can learn to skate better. You can't teach heart. Mark, that's a very, very good point.
Agreed.
But it's still a pretty big risk for the middle, you know, early part of the first round to take a guy who's notably slower. That's tough. He's got a big smile on his face, though. He is super, super happy. Listen, St. Louis is one of those teams. Again, they've had some tough times, but they're in the middle of a rebuild. I feel like the rebuild has been going on a couple of years there. They got a couple of guys locked up long term in Jordan Kyrou, Robert Thomas, Braden Shen. Those are three great players to build a franchise around. You got Brendan Saad is there. Of course, Kevin Hayes coming over now. Kasperi Kapanen, although he's been a bit of a bust. Jake Neighbors, such a great young talent there, really starting to develop. Some good defense with Justin Falk, Torrey Klug, and Colton Perrienko. And in goaltender, you have Jordan Binnington tied up. So this is a team where they're a few good signings away from, you know, getting back in the playoffs and having a good playoff run. So maybe this is an okay pickup for them for a bottom end of the lineup type of player. You know, maybe they're drafting for depth because they have a real strong core up top. But again, tough to draft for depth. Vancouver on the clock now. The Canucks, they're another one of these teams that really
Why do I always forget about them? It's like them and the Jets. I just forget they exist.
It's because they're so far on the West Coast that they're like they're still there. You know, they got JT Miller. Here's a guy they were, you know, he was one of the big trade targets was rumored about. And then they go and sign him through 28, 29.
I think they signed him to trade him.
Could be. It's a long-term contract, and I'll tell you, for him, $8 million is a reasonable price to see what guys are signing for these days. It's
a great deal.
I
want to see the Rangers get back in the mix on him because that's a great contract.
Yep. Some other good players on Vancouver: Elias Pettersson, Brock Besser, Andrei Kuzmenko, Connor Garland. So some good young talents up there. Quinn Hughes, of course, can't forget about Quinner. And Tyler Myers, although they're trying to shop him around. Thatcher Demko, their goaltender, he's really started to develop, but I think they're looking for another goalie as well. So what are the Vancouver Canucks going to do? What do they need? They need a little bit of everything.
You just took the words out of my mouth. I was about to go, what don't they need?
Let's see what they say.
Proud to select from Rögle, Swedish Junior League, Tom Willinger.
Tom Willinger, I believe, was the name. Tom Willinger.
Ty Domi, he was a Ranger.
So, okay, here he is. He was 12th overall from the European skaters. 6'1", 180-pound defenseman out of the Sweden Junior League. He 39 games played, 25 points, so he can score. Looking at some of his past seasons, he's pretty close to a point a game, a little behind, but you know, he's got some good size and he's still a young kid. Let's see if I can find him on the list, see who his comparisons are. Tom Willander. Tom Willander compared to an Alec Martinez, Colin Miller, or Brandon Montour. Listen, if he can develop into any one of those, I think Vancouver would be mighty happy with that. He knows how to create plays across all 200 feet of the ice, smooth on the breakout, uses confident puck handling, strong passing, can quarterback plays. Stellar point man, showing off his ability to walk the line and wait for an opportunity to present itself. Feels like his play fits all boxes, just a little immature. So maybe this is a great pickup here for Vancouver, a potential sleeper.
Sounds like great hockey IQ, and that's what you need when you have somebody who, especially when they said quarterbacking plays. When you're situationally aware of the ice and you're able to quarterback plays, you can be very dominant. Power play, penalty kill, whatever they need you to be. That's a pickup.
Yeah, I think this could end up developing into something real good. Vancouver is, you know, they've gone the superstar route. They've you know, a lot of European picks over the years, and they haven't really panned out the way they wanted, but they look pretty good. I thought you said somebody signed Hall, and you said it was a good idea. Mark, I would never say as much. I can't believe it drank this much. That's true, Mark. But we know, listen, for the Leaf fans out there, we know Justin Hall is not coming back to Toronto. We know Alex Kerfoot is not coming back to Toronto. And sadly, it pains me to say, it sounds like Michael Bunting will not be back in Toronto.
You guys are blowing your team up.
I'm shocked. Canucks didn't take Barlow. Typical Canucks. Shannon from Hot Take is fuming. Judy, listen, it happens. It happens. But this sounds like a really good all-around player. Really, really good all-around player. So, yeah, I don't know what they're doing. I don't understand why they don't sign Bunting. Maybe they just feel like they can't afford him. But I think that one stings. Adventures of Mike and Steph, how's it going? Can't wait to see who the Avs pick at 27 and 31. Major highlight is Will Smith picking up the Fresh Prince. Yeah, that's awesome. That was pretty sweet. And you know that Fresh Prince theme song is going to stick with him all the way through. I hope when he goes his first game and he goes to do the solo kind of lap around the ice, I really hope that's what they're playing, because that would be priceless. Or at least their promo. You know, at the Fresh Prince opening at the end, it's Will Smith sitting on the throne and the chair is kind of spinning around. I hope they kind of remake that with him sitting in the throne. That would be awesome.
It would be really cool if he was wearing a Men in Black suit and they did a multi-song mix. Like, Here Comes the Men in Black, and then spin it into Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. That'd be spectacular.
That would be really, really, really cool. The question is, who is the first player on the ice that Will Smith is going to Chris Rock?
On his team or someone else's?
Yes. Is Ryan O'Reilly coming back to the Leafs? John, I don't know. There's been lots of conversations going on with Tree Living and Ryan O'Reilly. They both want it to happen. Ryan O'Reilly wants to be here, and of course, Toronto management wants him to be here. It's a dollars and cents game. I think what's happening right now is they're working on this Austin Matthews deal. Depending on what they agree on, that's going to put all the balls in motion for everybody else. So if they can get Matthews done, I would expect everything else to fall and trickle behind. The problem is Ryan O'Reilly, come Saturday, can sign anywhere else. And all of a sudden, if you're getting offers at 6-7 million and Toronto's offering you $5 million, it's tough. Well, Jada like the San Jose. There you go, Jada. That's awesome.
That's great.
Who do the NHL have picked as contenders for the Cup? I heard the Avs were one of them. So it's so tough right now to go by what they're saying. You really have to kind of wait until September. Because after what happens in the draft, free agency over the course of the summer, with injuries, who healthy, who's not, then you kind of make that pick. I don't even really start looking at it till then. Lucas, yeah, it's going to be tough. Seeing what BT is going to do. Yeah, okay. Here comes Arizona yet again. They picked up for the Chychrun trade. Daniel Boot. Okay, so Daniel Boot. Let's find Boot. Here he is, 9th overall from European scoring. Daniel Boot is a big man, 6'5", 203 pounds, left winger. That's a huge size for a left winger. About a goal a game or a point a game pace. So interesting pick here for the Arizona Coyotes. The Coyotes with a couple of selections here. I'm a little surprised with this, but not surprised. Arizona is one of those teams that, again, they need everything. So it doesn't hurt them.
Including a stadium.
Including a stadium. Exactly. Daniel, D-I-N-I-L. Whoops. B-U-T. So Daniel Boot going to Arizona. You know, I feel we tease about Arizona a lot. I think it's safe to say. Arizona, listen, they have almost 30 million in cap space. I mean, which other team has 30 million in cap space?
Nobody wants to play there.
I mean, Clayton Keller is locked up through 27-28. Nick Schmaltz is locked up for a couple of years. Lawson Cruz is locked up for a couple of years. And other than that, like this is a tough team. And I kind of feel bad because this is the National Hockey League. And when you're getting drafted, like this guy right now, he wants to come in and say, yes, I'm going to an NHL team. I'm going to start my career. I'm going to have people wearing my jersey. I'm going to have this, that, the other. Same with Dmitry Simashev, who Arizona drafted earlier. You're going to play in front of 5,000 people. 5,000 people. How do you... Like, they probably played in front of more people than that in the minor leagues overseas. So it's got to be tough when you're drafted to this team, especially the way the draft board has gone today, where it's been off book, if you will. And actually, this Arizona jersey he's putting on right now is kind of cool. It's Arizona in script across the front, and it's got a funky, where they normally have the arm bars that go around, it's got a funky design pattern. So I actually don't hate that Arizona jersey. That's kind of cool.
If you look at it quickly, it spells Acme. So let me ask you a question. You get drafted to this team. Would you report for camp in a Wile E. Coyote suit and an Acme t-shirt?
Oh my God, that would be so amazing.
Would that not be the best thing ever?
I tell you, if I'm one of these guys that got drafted to Arizona, I put on my smiling face. I'm happy. I do the dance. I do the media. But when I go home and I'm pulling off my suit, I'm calling my agent and I'm saying, please, you got to find a way of getting me out of here. It's tough. He'll play out his contract and finish his career with a team friendly deal. He's still pulling the numbers. He was never fast. It's going to be awesome. Mark, who we talking about there? Sorry about Willie. Great guy, but hopefully they get it done. If not, get the best you can. Curtis, that's exactly right. You just got to get what you can get. But the Leafs keep Matthews, Marner, and Tavares. So Matthews, it looks like it's going to get done. Marner is still under contract. He has his extension due up next year. Same with Tavares. I don't know if Tavares returns unless he takes a ridiculously cheap deal. So it's going to be some financial pains again for Toronto this year, and then next year I think they make some big changes in terms of Tavares. Yeah, so that's kind of, if I go to Arizona, that's what I'm doing. I don't want to play here. You know, just because they get drafted, they still have to sign an entry-level deal. And this is where the whole Eric Lindros situation came up, right? He didn't want to sign the entry-level deal, caused a whole Broigus, and needed to be moved out of Quebec. So it'll be curious. I mean, obviously, these kids are going to take the deals, right? Their agents are going to advise them to do so. These aren't Eric Lindros caliber players when you're down into these numbers here. But I'd still ask my agent to try, that's for sure.
It's worth a bag of hockey pucks to try.
There you go. If they ever add another NHL franchise team in the southern state, I want them to be the Roadrunners, just to see the Coyotes Roadrunners play the Looney Tunes characters come out. That would be outstanding.
How about the Anvils?
The Anvils. Oh, that it's a good name too.
It would be a great name, and it should be like a mountain team, and they just drop an anvil on their head every single in between periods. Like, that would just be great.
That would be awesome. All right, Buffalo has their pick in. I don't even know where to go. Buffalo is one of these teams that, man, they have a very good team, right? Tage Thompson leading the way in Buffalo. They got a lot of cap space at $15 million, more or less. They got Jeff Skinner there, who had a great year. Dylan Cousins, who's great. Victor Olofsson, Alex Tuck, Jordan Greenway, Gergensons is there. Opozo is there. They got a solid team. They got great defense. Dahlin's got one more year. Samuelson is there. My Lyubushkin is there. Owen Power is there. Goaltending is a need. Goaltending is a need. Here they go. Zach Benson is the pick. Zach Benson. Man, these guys waste no time. So Zach Benson, he's a small left winger, 5'10", 170 pounds. Let's find Zach Benson. Who are you compared to? I really gotta scroll for him. He might not even be listed here. So Zach Benson, yeah, he's not even listed on the list. I gotta scroll down here. Hang on. On to the rest. So let's see if he's in this section. So the commentators are going nuts on the TV about how much they love this guy. Wow, how is he not listed here? There he is. All right, Zach Benson. He is compared to a Jordan Kyrou, Matt Boldy type of player. A do-it-all dynamo, incredibly fast, agile skating, relentless forecheck, make plays in tight, works his way fast to the net, finds a way to make an impact in all three zones, not scared of anything. That is a key phrase that I love to see. If there's a will, there's a way. Big work ethic. Wow. So this guy, he might be small. This site actually lists him at 5'9" instead of 5'10". So that's a heck of a write-up for this kid. Reading that, I think he fits in incredibly well to the Buffalo Sabres. And he'll need some coverage, right? He'll need some support because of his size. But I think he's going to help this team tremendously. Maybe not this year or next, but certainly, in the next 2-3 years. Again, I still think it's a risk taking a smaller player.
Well, it depends on how fast he is, too.
Yeah. Thumb was hoping he'd fall to 19. Yeah.
I mean, it depends. Is he going into the corners, or is he making plays? Is he the breakout guy?
Yeah, and we talked about speed earlier, and here come the Penguins. Penguins are on the clock. We talked about speed and how important speed is. And if this guy, if he's as fast as this write-up makes him sound, this could be a really good acquisition. 5'10", 170 pounds. He's going to be up against 6', 200 pounders, just going to crush him. You know what? It's true. But if he has the speed, they're talking about, he's going to be tough to hit. And at that size, it makes it easy to go down low and scooch past some of these 6-footers that are coming in to hit you. And what we've seen in the league so far over the last couple of years is guys that are coming in to hit, they're all hitting high. So maybe that's an advantage. So Zach apparently was 3rd in scoring in the WHL. So that's pretty good.
Well, I would say this to you. Again, if you're that breakout guy, like what Chris Kreider loves to do, if you could be something like that, you're literally going to be at a place where you might be the breakout guy. You're cooking it down the ice. You're so small, you get lost in the mix, whatever.
Yep. All right. They're just showing some highlights of this kid now. Man, okay, he can wheel. This kid is fast. Now, granted, these clips are, not NHL caliber, but this kid is fast. He's got some decent hands, nice looking shot. And they're showing him come in from all angles, coming in straight up the middle, coming in off the right side. He's fast, and he's got some sick hockey hair there. Just saying in those clips. He averaged 1.63 points per game in the WHL. Connor Bedard was 2.51. Stankoven was 2.02. Chris Stahl was 1.76, and then Benson at 1.63. So he can score and got speed. Maybe this works out. All right, looking ahead, Pittsburgh drafting at 14. Some 14th picks. Isaac Rosen, Joel Farabee, Cal Foote, McAvoy, DeBrusk, Wenberg, Gergensons, Kulikov, Zach Boychuk, who, by the way, Zach Boychuk follows me on Twitter. Shout out to Zach Boychuk. Kevin Shattenkirk, Michael Grabner, Chris Higgins. So again, some good names there, some not so good names. And here comes Kyle Dubas. God, it's weird to see him coming up here for the Penguins. Maybe he'll get the name right.
Nah.
So what kind of pick does he go with? God, all these guys make Bettman look so small. All right, here comes Dubas. Let's listen in.
First, like to recognize the great career of Nashville Predators general manager David Poile. Not only a great general manager, has done great for hockey, but a great mentor to young general managers getting into the game. Thank you, David. With the 14th selection in the 2023 NHL Entry Draft, the Pittsburgh Penguins are proud to select from the Moose Jaw Warriors, Brayden Yager.
Brayden Yager. Yager bomb goes to Pittsburgh. Let's see what we can find about Yager. Here is Brayden Yager, 5'11", 170-pounder, 11th overall. He was 5th overall at the midway point, dropped down to 11th for North American skaters. For Moose Jaw in the WHL in 67 games played, he had 78 points. Played for Canada in the Gretzky Cup 5 games. He had 9 points. 21-22 Moose Jaw, he had 59 points in 63 games. So seems to be okay. Let's see what he's compared to. Brendan Yager compared to a Matt Barzal, Elias Lindholm. Fluid center that loves the puck on a stick, has good finesse to get around defenders cleanly, can dominate play. Shortcomings is speed, decision-making, and ability to gel with teammates. Okay, so all the upside he can do, that's sentence right there worries me. But shortcomings in processing speed, decision-making, and ability to gel with teammates has some concern with his translatability. So a little bit of a risk. Could be some good upside. I think going in here with Sidney Crosby and Malkin and some of the others definitely is some good upside here to help maybe get his game on track. But this will be an interesting pick to see how he develops. It's no shocker that Pittsburgh is aging. That Pittsburgh has, I think, the oldest average age in the year. Morgan, how's it going? Welcome in. It's like Dubas is an X. Even his voice bugs me now. Mark, you kill me. Dave, how's it going? Welcome in. Good to see you.
Great, thank you.
Brian, there you go. Called it. He certainly did. Jaeger, let's see his highlight clips. Looks okay. He's got some okay hands. Again, his speed isn't as bad as that write-up made him sound. But again, this depending on where he's playing. So, well, the crowd just got fully hyped. And I just looked down at the board there. We're at pick number 15. It's the Nashville Predators. They're on the clock. I'm original from PA, and it's great to see the Penguins retool. There you go, Dave. Yeah, it took a few years to get it going, but it's about time.
I love seeing Penguins and Tool in the same sentence. So, and I didn't even have to make that joke.
There you go. Penguins got some cap space too, so it's going to be interesting to see what they do. Of course, Crosby, Malkin, Gunsel, Brian Rust, Ricard Raquel, Jeff Carter, Alex Nylander there. So hey, maybe Dubas will go and send somebody over to Toronto to bring Willie to Pittsburgh so the brothers can reunite. Ryan Poling still there on the defensive side. Petrie, Letang. So definitely an aging roster here. 35, 36, 28, 31, 31, 30, 32, 38, 30. Wow. Most of their players are over 30. All of their defense are over 30 except for Pierre-Olivier Joseph. Oh, and Marcus Pettersson as well. But Petrie, 35. Letang, 36. Jan Ruda, 32. So the crowd is amped up to see who Nashville is going to take. And, again, here we are. We're sitting 15th. No trades at this point.
It's so weird. Like, you've been sitting here talking, and I'm like, there's been no disruption. There's been no, shenanigans. There's not been anything. It's just been straightforward.
Alex, you got me. You got me. Let me take a look on the Twitter and see with anything new cooking over here. Brentry gonna make a trade today. So there's still lots of rumors of Trey Living potentially making a trade today. So here comes the Nashville Predators with Trotz walking the way up there. And I believe you called him signing on as a general manager there.
Thanks, Jonathan.
That's right, Jonathan. The Preds chants are going on. Where are they going to go on the board? Again, Nashville's one of those teams. They got a lot of talent. So where are they going to look to build? I think they're going D. The 15th pick, almost halfway. 40th NHL draft as a general manager. Matthew Wood. So we talked about him earlier. He is not a D, but he is a big-bodied right winger, 6'4", 197 pounds. The sisters, I don't know if those are the sisters or girlfriend, but they are all over him. That is one happy family right there. Matt Wood played at UConn, 35 games, 34 points. Matt Wood, the youngest player in NCAA, 11 goals, 34 points in 35 games, compared to a Jason Robertson's, Nikolai Ehlers, or Mikko Rantanen. Sudden growth spurt made hockey challenging for him, a nifty puck handler who has flashes of great skating ability interlaced with terrible skating showings. How can you be
That's
great
awesome.
skating and terrible skating at the same time?
Right, that's why I said that's awesome. That's the best thing I've ever heard. He's got two right feet and 2 left hands.
Yeah.
Awesome.
He knows where he needs to be, but he struggles to get there quickly with a lack of explosion. His skating needs improvement, and he's only had limited time in this frame. Okay, so in fairness, he has a big growth spurt. It's thrown off his game a little bit. So he's going to go in. He'll play some time in the minors and figure out his way through. All right, Alex, see you later, buddy. Gideon, what's going on? Welcome in. Thanks for joining us here today. Thank you, everybody, for hitting those likes. And of course, if you have not yet subscribed, shame on me for not reminding you earlier, hit that subscribe button. Look, he is a big guy. Wow. 6'4" is big. All right, let's add the Woodman to the lists. Where are they? Here's Nashville Predators. So he is ranked on this list. He was ranked 13th. So of course, he drops down a little bit, but he was 8th in North American skaters at the midterm, climbed up to 4th for North American skaters. It's so strange because you were kind of talking about it earlier, where you just want to take the best player available, you know, at any position. And I'm kind of that way too. Like when I'm doing my drafts, I go through and I look at the best players and I just take the next best player. So it's amazing that some of these guys that ranked in the top of the North American and European skaters were still available, and they just didn't go in order.
It's really a weird thing. I'm fascinated by when I listen to GMs talk about, you know, like the, you know, years before when they're retired, and they talk about how they came, you know, like what happened in their war room. I'm always fascinated by how they come up with their picks, because you and I sit here and we talk about it, and it has nothing to do with what they're thinking.
Yep.
Nothing.
I'm gonna interrupt for a second. Here is Connor BEDARD. Let's hear what BEDARD has to say in this interview.
What's so meaningful about this journey from you, from the little Connor BEDARD to the Chicago Blackhawks Connor BEDARD?
Yeah, it's been amazing. I think that was so big this morning. I think talking with my family and the journey we've been on together, and yeah, you got some highlights there. But no, it's been so much fun, and you know, I have such a love and passion for the game, and to be able to, you know, play it every day because of my parents and family has been unbelievable.
Well, what's next for you? You know, we're going to go through some stuff, some PR stuff, and now you get the opportunity to really go to work. Where does it go right from tomorrow on?
Yeah, I mean, obviously kind of be here tomorrow. I think I have some friends that'll kind of go here, you know, shortly and whatnot tomorrow. So, you know, be there for them and then head to development camp, which I can't wait for to, you know, get to the city and kind of see everything, meet everyone. And, no, it's just a really exciting time.
Just wanted to get your reaction. You know, Kyle Davidson made a big trade a couple of days ago, bringing in Taylor Hall and Nick Foligno, who he was able to re-sign. And what are your thoughts on that? You had a chance, probably haven't had a chance to speak to Taylor or Nick yet, but what were your thoughts on that trade?
No, it's great for sure. I mean, two guys have had unbelievable careers so far, and you know, I think for me to
this Connor BEDARD talk, you know, this is your typical hockey interview. I'm going to ask you a question. Here's the question. You're going to answer it. Well, my answer to the question is going to be this. And I really think it's like this. And because this is exactly how it's going to go. Like, it's the same cadence for everything. Where are you going from here? Well, you know, my family was so important to me and we did a good journey together. And this is where we're going to go. Now we're going to go to work. Hey, what do you think of these guys signing in Chicago? Well, they've had such a great career and they're really going to be good additions. And I can't wait to see them and play with them. Like, he already has the hockey lingo. I can already see it. Well, we had a tough period. We did have all four lines rolling, but our D was just a little behind the play. We can pull it together, though. We got lots of hockey left to go. I expect this team to regroup and come out strong in the second. Like, boom, boom, boom. He hits his marks. This guy knows how to give an interview. I want to see these guys being a little more personable. Like, let's see their personalities come out.
They're robots.
Exactly. Here's Craig Conroy of the Calgary Flames up now. Triton, what's going on, brother? Hope you are doing well. Good to see you.
Hey, you.
Oh, finally somebody congratulates Vegas on their Stanley Cup.
They won a cup?
That's what I heard. So, all right, make your pick.
McDavid's not a robot. He's an alien.
Here we go. Who are they going to pick? Oh, yes, of course. Thank the season ticket holders. They're important. Samuel HONZEK. Good old Samuel. Samuel. If I could find
So while you're
here.
looking for that, I've decided that if I could go back in time and tell my younger self, I would change my last name to my nose. I would raise a hockey champion. So that this way, when they say in the 2023 draft, we pick my nose.
That would be outstanding.
Like my butt. The 2023, the Toronto Maple Leafs pick my butt. Like, come on, that'd be great. Somebody's got to have a sense of humor.
Am I blind? So he led the Vancouver Giants in points with 1.3 points per game. But why can't I find him on the list here? Samuel, there he is. 6'3", 195 pounds. Samuel HONZEK.
6 foot 7
in Vancouver, 43 games, 56 points. Played for Canada in August, but he only played 4 games, so didn't play a whole lot. Played in Slovakia, 21-22 for Trenčín. He had 14 points in 49. So it looks like last year in Vancouver was his big upbringing, if you will. He was rated both 9th at the midterm and the final rank by Central Scouting. So Calgary's in a weird spot. Calgary, obviously they had a lot of trouble with their coach and management there. They've made all the management changes. They've started making some player adjustments. So I don't expect him to kind of come right in and play this year, but it'll be interesting to see how he develops. So if we look to our sheet, can we find Samuel? Here he is. Wow, he was rated down 30th overall on this list, compared to a Patrick Berglund, Jamie Benn, and Sam Bennett. So that's interesting. He's a he tends to serve as a safety net. He's more dynamic than that, though. You got to give him credit. He's a big-bodied forward that knows how to stay cool, calm, and collected. He's a heavy frame with quick strides, letting him burst into action when he needs to patch any gaps. Despite the responsibility, he possesses a dangerous scoring trait, including a nice shot, strong ability to win puck battles in the low slot. If he can bring those out and more, he could develop into a really unique, productive middle six center. So he's your middle of the lineup kind of guy. A lot of upside, but has to prove himself. So that's always tough where you get now. You're getting to these players where, hey, they're really good doing A, B, and C, but they're really bad about doing the rest of it, and they have to figure out how they kind of tie it all together. Yes, so Tree Living can now finally come back to the draft table. He can come and sit down. We've made it through 16 picks, so we are going to switch and go back to the studio as we are here now getting ready for the next 16 to go. 32 teams to get through in this first round. We've gone through the first half. No surprise. Well, I shouldn't say no surprise. No surprises in terms of trades or anything like that. Definitely some surprises in terms of where guys have drafted and where they've moved to. But there's still lots more of this to go. Obviously, the big hitters kind of went. I think the biggest surprise of the top picks, what we were looking at was MICHKOV. MICHKOV, who dropped down to, was it 8th when he was expected to be 2nd or 3rd. So going to be interesting to see if he gets that chip on his shoulder to come back and really move forward. So talking about those Flames and making this selection here with Samuel, Calgary, they have some work to do. Of course, they got Huberdeau and Kadri and Magniapane and Backlund, and it's a good core. You got Lindholm there and Coleman, and they just picked up Sharnkovich, which will be good, but they still need to sort out kind of the bottom half of their lineup. Calgary, they have a good squad up front. They just need to get a little bit more depth. Their D-line I like with Uyghur and Hanifin, but of course they're shopping Hanifin around. You got Rasmus Andersson there. So some defense and maybe an upgrade in goaltending. So there definitely is some room for improvement for the Calgary Flames. I like kind of the makeup of the top half of their forward line, but some work to be done there. So good maneuver there. If they can get a hole in one. Oh, and nice, Lucas, nice. You actually want to have a good. We actually have a good host tonight. Wow. Thanks, Triton. Triton, I should ask, where is everything kind of, are you on the move now? Are you in transit, or where are you? Where in the world is AAU, Triton? Oh, here's Adam Fantilli coming in. Let's see if he gives the same type of speech. Oh my God, Adam Fantilli has 130 friends and family members at the draft here tonight. That is crazy. 130 people. Dang, you're an 80s kid. Gerard, you know it, my friend. You know it. We'll be in transit tomorrow. Ah, okay, Trident. Keep me posted. Keep me posted. How special is she? So Adam Fantilli, it's funny. He's smiling. He has that good cadence, but he's letting his personality come back. He still has that hockey player, you know, the way he talks, but you can see his personality coming out of it. That's right, Jonathan, he's hiding. Alex, I'm not doing round 2 tomorrow. We'll not be doing round 2 tomorrow. Just doing round 1. I'll be watching it, or at least I'll be listening to it throughout the day. If there are any big signings, of course, over the course of tomorrow and Friday, we'll be posting those on our Instagram. So make sure you're following us at the Samuel B12 Experience on Instagram, because we'll drop any big signings there. Just like we posted the David Kempf signing earlier today. Let's do a little quick refresh here on the Twitter and see if there's any news of any more conversations taking place. David Alter has confirmed Trey Living has returned to the draft floor. So he's back in there. Anything else? So one thing that's pretty interesting, and I don't know if this was always the case, and Dave, I don't know if you remember this, but it seems more and more now that all the GMs and like these hockey executives are all ex-players. Was it always that way and we just didn't realize it when we were younger? Oh, I think you're on mute, unless you're not talking to me.
Nope, I had it on mute. So I think it was like that for the most part. We just didn't know it because it was our parents, hockey players, and they were. But at the same time, you didn't. I don't know that you had. Maybe it was like 50-50. Maybe it was a little bit more. But nowadays, you're 100% right. You look at it, and I mean, Yzerman's running Tampa Bay. I mean, it's like, what? You look at Chris Drury running the Rangers. So it's I mean, who do you want though? You know, running your team? Do you want a guy who's never played the game, or do you want a guy who was successful?
Yeah. Yeah, no, very true. Who are you feeling Toronto goes for it? Leaf, the way these picks have gone, you almost can't even predict it unless you've studied this and you know this, know these players so well. You kind of have a feeling who's going to slide down to the end of the first round. Um, it's very tough to forecast. I mean, one thing I'll look at, and where was it here? I have one listing. Let me, whoops, that's not the right one. Let me see if I can pull this up here real quick because it'll help me give you that answer. So Detroit is coming up again with pick number 17. Nope, that's not the right one. Here comes Yzerman again. Here we go. All right, so we're at 17. So based off this list, we'll see how accurate it is. They're going Oliver Moore. Oliver Moore is kind of what's listed 17. Quentin Musty around 18. So we'll see who Detroit picks here and how close this list is. Samuel HONZEK was listed around 30th, and he went much higher. So
Thumb Shanks, that was excellent.
Yzerman thanking the fans. AXEL Who's-a-Waza? AXEL. So this guy, AXEL SANDIN PELLIKKA, he was listed 8th, and he's now dropped down to 17th. So Axel Foley. No, that's not it. Axel Rose. No, that's not it. AXEL SANDIN PELLIKKA. He was 3rd for European skaters at the midterm rank. Dropped down to 7th. He's a 5'11" defenseman. He earned best defenseman honors in Sweden's top junior league last year. 31 games, 36 points playing with the Skellefteå Junior. When he played with the big club, 22 games, he only had 5 points. This is going to be a long name to write out. Holy moly. This is one of those names that spawns your entire jersey shoulder to shoulder. All right, Red Wings. So this pick the Red Wings just made was actually from the New York Islanders that was traded to Vancouver that came back around. So this is Axel. And then I'll look him up to who he compares to. AXEL SANDIN PELLIKKA. So if Yzerman is making this pick, Yzerman sees a whole lot in this kid, because what Yzerman did in Tampa Bay, what he's doing in Detroit, what he did for Team Canada, this guy has a hockey mind. So Axel is compared to a Damon Severson, a Jay Bouwmeester, and Alex Pietrangelo. So he's a transition quarterback that excels at carrying the puck out of the defensive end, takes advantage of plays as they form. He blends beautifully in with his line mates and has confidence to drive the puck into the zone when options aren't available. A great model for other defensemen looking to improve their puck carrying. Okay, so he's a good puck carrying defenseman. A little small in size, so I don't think he'll be carrying the puck that much in the league, because when you're at 5'11", if you don't have great wheels, you're moving this puck around a lot. So interesting to see how Axel will come in and develop. But again, if Yzerman is picking you, Yzerman sees something that other people clearly didn't. Because if he was listed 8th overall and dropped down, I think size definitely comes into account. The Winnipeg Jets coming up now. Alex, thank you. Blue Jays are winning. Good to see that. Yzerman has 2 top 50 of all time. He's a genius. Gerard, he really is. The things Yzerman did is crazy. Captain America, what's going on? Dvorsky is a monster. All right. Okay. Well, thank you for putting that in, because his write-up I wasn't sure about. I'm not sure if you're still here watching with us. But what else do you know about Dvorsky? What other information can you share?
I know divorces usually cost a lot of money, so this kid's probably getting a healthy contract.
Yeah.
No? Too soon?
Vasilik Dusin, what's going on? Where is Edward Sally listed? Let me take a look. So, based off the overall rankings, he was number 12th on this list. So let me look here. 18th on this list. And Sally is compared to a Mark Scheifele type. So it's tough right now to say, because a lot of these picks have been all over the place. So you have guys that were ranked 8th that have dropped down to 17th. Guys that were, ranked 30th were taken higher. So the Winnipeg Jets coming in, selecting 18th overall for the 3rd time since 2021. Ouch. That is not good. So let's take a look. Who are good players taken at the 18th overall spot? Dawson Mercer was taken at 18th. Liam Foodie, Thomas Chabot, Alex Tuck were all 18th. Teravainen, Austin Watson, Ian Cole, Eric Fair. God, remember Eric Fair? Brooks Orpik, Dmitry Kalinin, Konstantin Koltsov. Some not so good picks as well. So that's, it's interesting with these picks, because you get some of these guys who really can perform, but it takes years for them to go. I know Pavorsky was a great player. Oh, you said no. Did he not be? Hey, there we go. It's working. Oh, that makes me so happy. Iconic. You're now on the Mount Rushmore of redeems.
Ready?
All right, the pick is in for Winterpeg. Kicking off the dot. The picks have been so unpredictable. Right? It's been crazy. Fred, how's it going? Welcome in. I'm fantastic. I hope everybody's having a great night. This draft is just so all over.
No trades.
No trades. All right, Kevin Cheveldayoff, what are you doing for us? Who are they going to go? Will it be that Edward Saleh? Go Jets, go. Proud to select. Kobe Barlow. Man, does he got some curls. What a hockey hair. He's got the beard filled in. Wow.
So, did your theory from last year's draft hold true to this year's draft with the hat and the jersey?
The hat, yes. So, most of these guys have been putting on the hats. I have been calling it out. I didn't call it out. I've been watching that. But look at this guy's flow. This guy's got it going on. Let me see.
So Sammy's obsessed with people's hair and hats, just so you all know. And this is a 2-year thing in the making.
Let's see. Okay. Gotta find his name here on the list. Yeah, Colorado's been making some moves. They've been doing that. All right, so Barlow, 5th in the OHL with 46 goals. 5th most by a 2023 draft prospect. Barlow, where are you? Here he is. Colby Barlow, 6 feet tall, 195 pounds, left winger at Owen Sound, 59 games, 79 points. Let's see where he is on this list. Colby, what? Is he not
Colby
even listed up higher? Here he is. So he was ranked 7th on this list. He is compared to a William Nylander, Tom Wilson, Mason McTavish. Okay, which one of these three do not belong? You don't put Nylander, McTavish, and Tom Wilson in the same comparison. It's not.
You heard me go,
possible.
what? Like
that's
he's Ty Domi, Wayne Gretzky, and John Van Viesbroek.
This list just lost all credibility.
Right?
They say another sturdy built prospect who looks far beyond development of a typical 18-year-old is if this exceptional development continues, he could become a cornerstone talent. But even if it doesn't, Barlow's ability to play slow physical hockey gives him an incredibly high floor. He could step into the NHL next year. In fact, he probably should. So that's pretty good. You get a NHL ready player to come in at 18 years old who's confident, can bang and crash, and I guess that's where he gets that Tom Wilson comparison. But
keep in mind, I did say it earlier that you had to have speed, you had to play like Tom Wilson, you had to be able to shoot, score. Like I did say it earlier, it's just to hear them all in the same sentence is kind of laughable.
It's you put in one of the softest players in the league in William Nylander in with one of the most physical in Tom Wilson. That's bizarre.
He's got a glove hand just like Shesterkin, and you're like, wait, what? It's like he's forward.
He's got a great hockey name too, Colby Barlow. Like that is a good hockey name. And that's, it's funny. You can look at all these guys being drafted and you just say their names out loud. And if it's a good name, he's going to be a good player. If the name just doesn't flow.
Colby sets the bar low and aims high.
There you go. I love it. The marketing is flowing.
I just can't help it.
So that's going to be good. Yeah. Barlow, I think he should, with that write-up, it sounds like he'll fit in nicely with Winnipeg. Winnipeg, making some moves. They were on the list. I think it was your list of teams when we talked about teams wanting to go away. Winnipeg was on your list. They got Blake Wheeler there, Kyle Connor, Mark Scheifele, Nikolai Ehlers, now Alex Aiello, Adam Lowry. So I think he'll fit in with this group with Velarde as well, coming over in that trade, assuming Winnipeg can get Velarde signed. Man, wouldn't that be a great, great pairing? Because Velarde is only 23. You put this Barlow with Velarde on the right side, and then, man, drop somebody in the middle. That could be a pretty good, third line, second or third line. It could be dangerous.
I don't think you ever told them who you drop off of your 3 or 4 teams.
I would drop off Portland, Houston, in Saskatchewan. No, I
spoken like a true hockey announcer who's trying to stay neutral. Swiss or then
I would go Arizona, kind of San Jose, and Columbus. Those would be my 3. I can't stand Columbus. So can you do me a favor? Can you give me the afterbite?
So I go with the Coyotes, the Penguins, and the Panthers. No, I'm just kidding. I go with, obviously I take out Arizona. You can take any one of the 2 California teams. You could take San Jose or probably Anaheim would be my second. And then last but not least, and I know that this is not a popular choice, but it's Buffalo.
Yeah,
I hate Buffalo.
Buffalo, thank you. Buffalo would be
I have a pretty strong case against Buffalo.
But if you would have said that a couple of years ago, I might agree with you. I really like what Buffalo is doing right now. I think they're starting to put something together.
I think I shocked you last night when I sat there and I said that it would my other team, because we actually did 4 or 5, and my other one was Ottawa. I still think Ottawa probably also could find that cannon and get shot off a cliff for all I care. So
that one surprises me as well. Here comes Chicago. Let's see what Chicago's going to go back to. Are they going to try and draft Connor Bedard twice?
Yes.
Number 19 goes Oliver Moore. There it is, Oliver Moore. The mom jumps up. The dad is sitting there going, yeah, like a typical hockey dad who's been waiting for a long time for this moment.
He's the best name ever.
Oliver Moore. He was rated actually 8th overall. Again, a little bit of a smaller guy, 5'11", 195 pounds. He has, for USA on the national team, 60 games played, 74 points. In the USHL, 23 games, 25 points. So he can score. He can score, and that's all that matters. He's compared to a Kevin Fiala, Peyton Krebs, or a Jasper Bratt. A cartoonish, what is this sentence? A cartoonish sugar rush of a player. His Jets are outclassed by his endurance. He's incredibly persistent on the forecheck. Quick play translate to his hands, and processing with more capable of making passes, releasing fast shots in little to no time. He can quarterback, transition, and positionally sound in the defensive end, making him an option for the penalty kill. I'd like to see him add muscle to round out his sturdy frame. All right, so that's pretty interesting. He's a quick player. He's got good hands, good hockey IQ. Just needs to beef things up a little bit more. So an interesting pickup here. I think this is a safe pick and a good pick for a rebuilding Chicago team. Nothing wrong with this one at all. Where was this pick? Let's get him added to the board. So this pick coming over from Tampa Bay. This pick from Chicago was originally a Tampa Bay pick. Whoa. So they're saying right now that he has really, really strong speed, can really fly around. And I think that's going to be an advantage. You know, if he's able to step in, do we see a scenario where maybe Chicago plays him and Bedard together? Get the young kids, especially in the preseason, get to see what they can do.
All right, so with all this youth that they're bringing into Chicago, I got to ask the question. You know who is looking for a one-year bridge deal, knows the team. He's healing very quickly from his surgery. Could you see him going back for a year?
Wouldn't that be something? Because that's a good transition. We have the kind of free agent board here. And the top two sitting on there are Patrick Kane and Jonathan Toews. Wouldn't that be interesting if Chicago brings both of them back for a 1 year? Or at least Kane?
Well, and that's the thing is like you're bringing in all this inexperienced kids. And you're bringing up kids. Like, you do have to have veteran leadership on the ice. If not, it's a disaster. So could you do what I was talking about like an hour ago when I said, hey, what about doing a bridge deal for 2 years on both these guys, and then when the cap frees up, trade them, get something back for them? Right now they're walking away. They get nothing. And they've gotten something for Kane, but, you know, I don't know. I would want something for two very, very good hockey players.
Yeah, I mean, who's your veteran right now on Chicago? It's Taylor Hall and Tyler Johnson. Are those the veterans you want to instill leadership on the rest of the team? I don't think Tyler Johnson is that leadership type. Taylor Hall, maybe a little bit. You got Nick Foligno is there as well. Maybe he gets that done. But I tell you, either one of those two for coming back, I think that turns everything around.
You put Patrick Kane healing, walking around that locker room. He's a veteran presence that he might not be on the ice for a few months, but he's in that locker room calming everybody down. I think Chicago's, and don't get me wrong, I want the Rangers to pick him back up, but Chicago's stupid if they're not on the phone with him right now saying, look, we want you walking around the locker room, at least for a year. We'll give you the money, we'll pay you, and call it a day.
Yeah, Thumb says Taze unfortunately might be hanging up the skates because of his health. Wouldn't that be unfortunate? That would be terrible. He was such a good player, right? Really, really good, impactful player. It would be sorry to see him go like that. So the Kraken on the clock right now, waiting to see their pick come in. Seattle was one of those kind of dream teams last year. They were kind of my surprise pick to go in and make the playoffs. I didn't think they would do as well as they did, but they have some good things going, and I'm quite curious to see where they kind of go here, because they do have a lot of cap space. They got a good forward, set. They could always use some depth. I think they need to go more on the defensive side. They need a goaltender who, again, drafting a goaltender doesn't help them for 3-4 years, if that. So I think you got to go D here. I think they need a good, solid defenseman.
And I think you got to almost, you have to think so highly of a goaltender to take him in the first round.
Yeah.
That it's not funny.
What? I don't know what he just said. I think Edward Chalet.
Edward Scissorhands.
Edward Chalet. Let's see if I can find him on here. He's compared to a Jonathan Huberdeau type. See if we still can't find him here. Oh, Saleh, not Chalet. So Saleh. So this is who we had somebody asking about earlier. I thought he said chalet, like I'm going to eat at Swiss Chalet, or I'm going to the ski chalet. But it's Saleh, S-A-L-E. He's a 6'2", 175-pound left winger. So yeah, we talked about him not too long ago. Saleh, maybe this is what you want to read about the prospect you just picked up, is maybe the most frustrating prospect in this draft class. He is physically mature and phenomenally drives play when he wants to. But in league play, or even a few instances international, Saleh has faded into the background, failing to involve himself into much of anything. He has an incredible amount of potential, but inconsistency in his engagement makes it hard to get excited about what he could be. Wow, that's not a glorifying review.
You hear that in round one, it's like, what? Like, that's a round 2 pick.
Yeah, maybe Seattle is figuring they have a good coaching team, they have a good staff that can find a way of pulling his game out of him.
Wait, I know the answer to this. They share a scouting staff with the Arizona Coyotes.
Must be. But how, to take a player who's the most frustrating prospect in the draft class, somebody who fades away into the background, is this a guy who maybe he wakes up and plays great in the regular season and then playoffs you never see him again? That's a tough pick.
That's bad. I mean, that's exactly the opposite of what you want. I want to read, he's lackadaisical player, he's all over the ice, but when it comes to playoff time, he puts 95 goals on the board. Okay.
Yeah, take that all day long. Gator, what's going on? Chicago took our only pick tonight. Gator, he stole it right from you. John, I agree. I don't like that pick. Reading that description, that makes him really tough to swallow. But again, maybe Seattle knows something we don't. Maybe they have a way.
The other thing that's weird about this draft is not only have we not seen any trades, we haven't had anything happen offline, but the other thing that's very odd about this, and I don't know if I'm just hyper noticing, like hyper attentive to it or whatever the hell you want to call it, but everybody's using the full 5 minutes.
It's really true. And it's funny
Like,
because
I did not expect like a 5-hour draft.
it says the pick is in and they're all just sitting there. What's this? So MICHKOV, this on Twitter, comes out saying MICHKOV says he's under contract but wants to join the NHL as soon as possible. Says the Flyers were his first choice. Are you telling me you're ranked second or third overall, and you're saying I really want to go to Philadelphia even though they're like 12th?
So the only reason he's thinking that is because they're figuring that they're all going to be like his big brother, and when he gets smashed into the boards, they're going to stand up for him. But I don't know.
Yeah. Here's the, I don't know if this will come through. Here's the Anaheim Duck anniversary jersey. That's pretty good. I don't mind it.
It's mauve. Mauve is not a hockey color.
Yeah, it's new.
It's horrible.
It's horrible.
Give me a good black jersey with mallard green on it and some highlight yellow, like electric yellow. Make the duck glow. Make it dance on the jersey. Put an LED screen on it.
Can you imagine a jersey with LED lights? That would be sick.
Right? Wouldn't it be great?
Apparently, there's some conversation going on right now between the Canucks and the Sabres general managers. Who knows if something comes out of it, but some conversation going on. Here's the Minnesota Wild, Bill Guerin. Wow, Bill Guerin. He's never been a small player. He's looking a little tough, a little rugged. But I like Bill Guerin. He was a feisty player. All right, Alex, take care, buddy. Sean, what's going on? Welcome in.
Yeah, it's just a weird thing, dude. It's like...
Yeah. Charlie Conacher? No.
Charlie Conway.
Charlie Conway. No. So
how about that pie?
Charlie Strommel. The local kid from Minnesota, and I kind of like this. I know Toronto. Look at the hockey hair on this guy. Oh my gosh!
Look at Sam hockey hair.
I know Toronto has a lot of Toronto people, but I like when players, especially in the U.S., when they take kind of local guys. He did win a bronze medal with Team USA at the 2023 World Championships. Strommel is the name. We're trying to find him on the list here. They're certainly not making it easy. There he is, Charlie Strommel. Big boy, 6'3", 222-pound center. He's actually listed at 30th overall. In Wisconsin, he had 33 games played, only had 12 points. In the USA under 18s, 26 games, 22 points. His NHL role model is Matt Tkachuk, and his first concert was Lil Bebe, if anybody cared. Let's see what he's rated as. Charlie Strommel, where are you? Charlie Strommel. So he's so far down, despite looking like a great skilled power forward, he instead has developed into a David Backes style of a big man role. A lot of work in front of the net and in the corners. He has some good balance, skilled puck carrier, and net front big man. He'll bring value in either light. So that's pretty cool. David Backes, if you followed Backes, he was a hard hitting, really good grinder. He was an important part of the St. Louis Blues when he was there. So if this kid can develop into a Backes-like player, that would be pretty good for Minnesota. Minnesota's got a lot of skilled forwards. They need the toughness, and I think that's what they just got. A lot of GMs picking up the phones, a lot of calls going on, but no trades as of yet, which is a little disappointing.
It's just weird. Like, the whole draft this year is weird. And that's why I was saying to you, like, as you get past the halfway part of the first round, typically you start seeing the time go down. It goes from 5 minutes, 4 minutes, 3 minutes. It starts getting quicker and quicker and quicker. They're literally milking the clock as long as... I've never seen this.
Yeah, it's definitely bizarre. I actually thought there was going to be some big times. Oh, like, nice, Sean. Gotta love those rain delays. But I appreciate you hopping in. Gotta love the rain delays.
It's like 9:30, and we're still sitting here like we're just barely past the halfway part. It's like, wait, what?
Nice. I'm a sports director. Thanks for all you do in the draft. Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you for coming in, Christian Faith. I appreciate it. Thanks for being here. We do what we can. We love our hockey. We love our sports, and we have you covered all summer long for the news and updates around the league. And we can't wait. The schedule was just released. So I've already got it circled on my calendar. October 10th? 11th was the date. The Leafs are kicking it off. And it's going to be here before we know it. So the schedule is out. Chicago only comes to Toronto once, and it is in October. So we're definitely going to have to get and check that game out. At least we know Bedard will still be with the club by then. He won't be sent down. Just kidding. There's no way Chicago sends Bedard down to the minors. But it's going to be a lot of fun this year.
Could you imagine sending him for development?
That would be incredible. Hey, with Chicago, you never know. If they need to spark some news, yeah, we're sending Connor Bedard down. That would not go over well.
It'd be funnier if they traded him.
I would make that try. You want Austin Matthews? Here you go.
Well, what if you traded for number ones and number twos for the next 2 years while you're in the middle of a rebuild?
Ooh. That's tough.
Take in a good goaltender, trade for a good goaltender prospect that's coming up out of the like an ACHL or AHL or ECHL. Grab one of those, grab a number one and number two, and a developmental player. You probably get that deal done.
That's a tough. Yeah, I think you're working around those lines. Can you imagine what Bedard would think if he got that call saying we're sending you down? He'd be hanging up and calling his agent. I want to trade. Get me out of here.
Yeah, like, could you imagine though? Like, that'd be good. I think it would be funnier if all of a sudden he's like, yeah, he goes out, does like the press tour for like the next week, and then gets traded, and he's like, wait, what? Like, you just told everybody how happy you were to be in Chicago. Now it's, hey, I'm happy to be. What the hell town am I in?
Yeah. Here's Flyers again. Oliver Bunk. I was so happy to see him get picked up. Oliver Bunk, 6'2", 180-pound defenseman. He was ranked number 20th by the Central Scouting. He's a pretty good defenseman. 67 games, 40 points. In St. Thomas in 21-22, 32 games. He had 32 points. So he can put points on the board. He's a pretty good defenseman. But when you talk about a good hockey name, it doesn't get much better than Boink. Oliver Boink has grown exceptionally. He's become more comfortable and confident pushing the puck up ice on his own. He's a good skating defender in this draft class, but it sets himself apart with how well he's able to blend into offensive systems. He's got a great hockey mind. He retrieves the puck cleanly and takes advantage of all the spaces between him and the offensive blue line. So this is going to be a great addition to the Flyers. Flyers continue building with these big bodies, and it's going to be good. He did win a gold medal with Canada at the Gretzky Cup. So nice pickup here for the Flyers. Everyone's been taking forwards. The defenders have been kind of falling down the line. So nice to see Boink getting picked up here, or Bonk.
So what do you think of what Philly's philosophy is? Every other team is going lean, mean, fast, north-south hockey, and they're still going back to it's 1978 and they want to be the Bruisers.
I think it's kind of the Flyers' identity. David, how's it going? Welcome in. If the Flyers all of a sudden changed direction and they went smaller, skilled, they'd lose that identity of the Philadelphia, brawlers of
But
what
don't
they
you
were.
go like half and half in today's world? I mean, let's be honest. They haven't done much in a long time.
No, they certainly haven't. I think they're starting to work on the right path. The problem is what you have now. You don't have. I don't want to say you don't have skilled players because every one of these players could skate circles around any of us.
Sure.
But at the NHL level, they don't have the skilled core players to build it up. Like, yes, Joel Farabee, he's a good young player. He's getting in there. Konecny, not gonna cut it. Philly has a lot of work to do, and I think it's going to take them quite a while. When we look at their non-rostered, kind of their minor league players, there's nobody here on this list that I'm jumping out of bed and excited that's going to make a difference for this team. I think the Flyers have a lot of rebuilding to do, and if you're a Philadelphia fan, it's tough to sit because this is going to be many years. Like, I don't see them making the playoffs for quite a long time with this group that they have.
But that's the thing is like, as you said before, they've been going down this road a long time with no success. And as you just said again, like, you don't see them pushing forward. At some point, there's got to be a regime change and saying, you know what, the John Tortorella mentality that, let's go backwards to go forwards, it isn't working.
Yeah.
And you just took Kevin Hayes, who is a goal scorer, and just launched him out of a cannon. Like, what are you guys doing? Like, you took, and don't get me wrong, he's not a small kid either. He can hit, he can fight, he can score. And you just took him and sent him away to another team that's rebuilding. I don't get it.
Yeah, it is going to be really tough. And Christian Faith says they're moving to Philadelphia. Christian Faith, how do you feel about the Flyers team? Moving to Philadelphia, would you like to see them kind of change? Or if anybody else in the chat is a Flyers fan, would you like to see them kind of change that style that they've always been known for?
Now, that's a different question, because I personally would rather see us go back to 1978 and watch teams just kill each other with bench clears.
Well,
that's
for
just
the
me.
way it is today. Change for the way the game is today.
But, I mean, if they want to be competitive, I think they almost have to. They can't keep going down this road because it's not sustainable. If you're always looking to hit the guy and you're not looking to play the puck, you're going to lose. And it doesn't work that way in this league. These guys are too damn good. They're too fast, and I don't know. I mean, especially when it doesn't matter what hit it is, it starts a fight.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, Beverly. Hey, Steven. Welcome in. Steven, that's right. No goalies yet. And Bonk is actually a second generation. His dad, Radek Bonk, was drafted third by the Ottawa Senators. So Bonk is a second generation.
Best hockey name ever. Radek Bonk.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, he wins.
Do you remember TurboGrafx 16?
Yes.
Video game console around the same time as Sega Genesis. So one of the staple games on TurboGrafx 16 was Bonk's Adventures, and it was one of the greatest games. Oh, here's your Rangers. Wow, they snuck up there real fast. What? Gabriel Perreault. Wow, wasted no time. They take a guy in quite a fancy pinstripe suit there. Gabriel
you see
Perreault.
How the Rangers did it, everybody? They walk up to the thing, boom, let's go, let's move on.
He's Yannick Perreault's son.
At least he's not Ross Perreault's son.
Yannick Perreault's son, Gabriel Perreault. Midterm rank, he was 15 amongst North American skaters, climbed up to 10th. Wow, he's 5'11", 163 pounds. So he is a little, a little guy. On Team USA in the national program, 62 games played. He had 132 points in 62 games.
So Team USA him a piggyback ride from the bus to the locker room? My goodness.
Yeah. 23 games. He had 45 points. In the USA under 17s in 51 games, he had 50 points. So he's pretty much scored everywhere he goes. Let's see what his comparison is.
Yeah, the place he scores is at the bars. Like, come on. Like, this kid's dead. 163 pounds. I weighed twice what he weighs. 163 pounds. Let me tell you something. And this is no joke. Freshman football, I weighed in at 225.
Oh, I'm absolutely dying here.
Come on. I ate 163 pounds of food last week. Like, this isn't a...
Gabriel Perreault, he's comparable to Brendan Gallagher or Jake Gunzel.
Great.
He started the year primarily as a forechecker. Yeah, 5'11", 165 pounds as a forechecker. Using his fundamental speed and fearless tenacity to battle in the corners or along the boards and win possession for his team. But as the year developed, his found a newfound confidence in independently taking advantage of chances his play driving creates. His ability to stick handle in tight and fight his way to the net. So okay, so he's got some speed and he's tenacious and he goes in the corners.
The first time he cuts across in front of that net and somebody like a Trouba lays him out, this kid's gonna wake up 15 years from now retired. Like, I hate that pick. I hate that pick. The Rangers needed a 6'4" guy who couldn't carry a stick or a tune and pretty much has no teeth. Like, I needed a goon, and they give me a dainty ballerina.
5'11". Hey, come on, I'm only 5'9".
But when the guy next to you, 5'11's great, okay? I'm 6 foot. All right, so like, but when the guy next to you is 6'3" and he outweighs you by 70 pounds, there's a huge problem.
Yeah, the average defensive core these days is over 6 feet tall, and it's tough. And let's be honest, it says 5'11". He's probably more like 5'10", maybe shorter, because they always give you an inch or two. Gonna be interesting.
I
that
bet.
is for sure.
I'm sure they gave him more than an inch or two, but you know, where's he getting his uniform from? He's still getting it from the kiddie section. Like, come on, man, that's not even funny.
So according to this list, lines.com and their draft board, they had Gabriel Perreault down at 36 overall.
Yeah, then the Rangers decided to move him up because our scouting is just spectacular. They could have picked him up in round 2 if they wanted him that bad.
There you go.
This is not a round.
Leaf
just
says
not a round 1 pick.
6'4". Wow, Leaf, you're big. 6'4".
6'4", okay? 6'4" right winger. This kid comes in at 5'10", 5'10 and a half. Leaf hits him one-on-one. Leaf's going to put him in the hospital. He's going to leaf him for dead. That's what he's going to do. Come on.
Nice. Here, let's hear what he has to say. Let's bring in the audio for the New York.
I'm really scared to be in the New York.
Such a big influence. I'm so thankful to have him. I mean, he's my coach growing up, so having him is so special.
Memories of that cup win?
Yeah, I think I was pretty young, so I think living in those moments was pretty cool. Like with my brothers and my sister was definitely pretty special.
And now time to chase your own. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right, that.
Be in the New York market because I'm 3 foot tall and I'm a leprechaun and I live in a little pot of gold at the end of the rainbow.
All right, here comes the Nashville Predators back on the clock. I love that a lot of these teams are having 2 first-round picks this year. It's huge. Well, could we be talking trade? Hang on. Oh, they're just saying how no trades have happened as of yet. Lots of conversations apparently taking place on the floor. Some notes on Elliot Freeman's podcast today. Nylander O'Reilly said there's no doubt Toronto wants to sign Nylander, but said he hasn't heard. Oh, it's been a wrestling match. What does it say about Ryan O'Reilly? O'Reilly and the Leafs have been a roller coaster. At times it looks like it's really close, and at times it falls apart. Toronto is asking about every defenseman. So Toronto is shopping for a defenseman. Roman Josi. Here's Roman Josi and Pekka Rinne.
He's.
What are they?
You just sound. It just sounded like a wrestling match. Pekka Rinne versus Roman Rossi.
They forgot. Oh, they forgot the name again.
That's great.
Tanner. Tanner, look at the hair on this kid. Do these guys just work on their flows? Like, this kid is crazy. So Tanner, let's see where Tanner is. Tanner Molendyke, another 5'11", 181-pound defenseman out of Saskatoon. In Saskatoon, 67 games played, 37 points. Let's see what the write-up says on our good friend Tanner. He's compared to a Devon Toews, Vince Dunn, or Gustav Forsling. Ability to join the rush has been incredible to watch. He's a shifty defenseman who uses strong active stick to shut down opponents, quick crossovers to turn up ice before opponents can catch on to what's happening. It's a really attractive style, but one that hasn't led to the scoring some may expect. He will need to improve his vision when attacking down the boards, but his decision-making when plays shut down, nice ability to close off play and move up. So good skater, good hockey IQ, not good at putting up a ton of points, but it sounds like he's a pretty solid defenseman. This site has him listed at 6 feet. So an elite skater they're saying about this kid. So
you know, it'd be great. I'd love to see them, put up 3 names of like fake hockey players. Be like, he's compared to Jan Marsbar, Bob Schnellendagger, and Jimmy Snaggletooth. I would love to just see them make some stuff up, and people are like, yeah, he's just like him.
That would be really funny.
This is why they don't let me do stuff.
Yeah. The thing with this pick, this was the second name to be bobbled. Now, in fairness, they went to 2 Nashville Predator hockey players that are standing outside at their outdoor concert making the call. So I'll give them a little bit more slack than I will Carey Price, who completely botched it earlier this evening. Toronto Yardy, what's going on? Leafs picking a defense or a goalie? I hope so. No goalies have been taken as of yet today. No goalies taken as of yet. Talala, what's going on? Welcome in. Toronto should take Seth Jones straight up for Marner. Hawks will take 2 more number 1s as well. Who got Bedard? That was Chicago. Chicago with the number 1 pick took Bedard. Avs are coming up. Yep. Sorry, I know I've missed some of your comments. We've been sitting here chatting back and forth. 6-inch wide receiver is difficult. Okay. Hello, Beverly. I don't know if I said hello, but I'm saying it again. Hello. All right, so I think I'm caught up here. Good night, Triton. Have a safe trip, buddy. Keep us posted along your journey.
AAU behave or else.
That's right. That's right. Musty, it's going to happen. Mark's calling for Musty. So let's see. I want to see Tanner here. So Tanner was 39th overall. Where does this site have Musty? Because Quentin Musty up at 20th spot. Still available. Interesting. Very interesting. Very interesting. The thing with these players, and I mean, let's be real. We're talking here. We're bringing you as much information as we can about a lot of these picks that are coming up. Some of them will see the light of day, in August, September, when they have the rookie tournaments. You'll start to see how a lot of these guys play, but it's not really until training camps open, when there's the preseason games, you'll get to see a lot of these number one round picks playing, and you'll get to see them with some NHL caliber talent, and you'll really get to see who potential could make the team or who has no chance. And for a lot of these players, they're going to play preseason and that's it. They're not going to get a chance to play in an NHL game for the rest of the year. They're going to go down. They're going to continue to develop. But there are a handful that we'll expect to see make a difference for their NHL franchises. This is a very deep draft. There's a lot of skill here. So it'll be interesting to see where the rest of these teams at the end of the first round go. We saw the New York Rangers completely butcher their pick based off the Bear Sharks reaction. So where will our Toronto Maple Leafs go? What will the Leafs do? It's going to be interesting to see. But first, we got to go through the St. Louis Blues at pick number 25.
So I kind of always feel the same way about the first round of the draft pick as I do when I used to do fantasy. You don't know what you're going to do. You've had 25 people have picked before you. Like, you have no idea, like, this, like, are you surprised? Like, you didn't have a plan? I don't get it.
Otto Stenberg, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Let's see. Otto Stenberg. So Stenberg, 5'11", another small centerman. A lot of small centers in this draft. He was 6 overall for the European skaters. Stenberg in Frölunda with the junior Swedish team. 29 games, 26 points, 53 penalty minutes. Wow. So Otto, how does Otto compare? Nope, that's not what we wanted. Otto Stenberg was listed 41st overall by this. So quite an increase for him. A tireless playmaker who excels at keeping his head up and navigating tight spaces. Stenberg is the type of player that you simply can't take the puck from. The issue is his inconsistency from competition to competition. If Stenberg can bring his international performances to league play, he'll become much more of a valuable player. So again, here's another player who seems to have a ton of upside, but is very inconsistent. And it's tough. It's tough to put a lot of stake in a player that is inconsistent. You need to kind of bring what you got.
I still think that we're talking about round 2 picks. Like, I'm hearing a lot of developmental kids, and this was supposed to be a deep draft year, and I'm just not hearing it. So it's like, these are guys that should have been going, up to like the first 10 in round 2.
Yeah, and why are these guys slipping? Why are some of these top guys like this Musty, who Mark is waiting for his name to be called? Why is he continuing to drop down the list? I don't get it. Let's take a look. What number are we going to? We are hang on a second. I want to pull up the next. Let's kind of go back to our history of picks. Ooh, yeah, they're saying he's like 2 years away from playing for St. Louis, which that's not what you want. We're going to the 26th pick, the San Jose Sharks, and the 26th. This historically, let's take a look at who has been successful and who has not. Whoops. So a 26th pick. Is there anybody here? Jake Neighbors was a 26th pick, and he was a good pickup for the Blues. Philip Messer was not a good pick. Jake Ottinger, Tage Thompson. Tage Thompson is probably the steal of that draft at 22 or 26. Sorry. Shea Theodore was 26. Philip Deneau, Kuznetsov, Palmieri. Actually, there's some pretty good picks in the 26. Tyler Ennis, David Perron, Corey Schneider. I know Dave, one of your favorites, Brian Boyle. Brian Boyle was a 26 pick overall. And Martin Wagner from the Wagner family was a 26 pick. So again, some hit and miss. Marty Havlat. Oh, remember Martin Havlat? He was a 26 pick. So you can strike, get a decent player this deep in the first round. Thank you, Gerard. Appreciate you very much.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. Anybody who's a first round overall is a decent player. So it's just, what does it take to develop them? Where are they at in their developmental, and where do they fit into your plan? That's the biggest thing about draft day. And it always amazes me just to see.
We can have our first trade.
No.
The San Jose Shark logo just came off the board. And Greer is still sitting at the table. Are they going to move it? Because normally they have the team logo up on the wall. The team logo was there. It just came down and they put the draft logo back up. So could we be finally getting a move? Could this be the CARLSSON deal? Could they announce the CARLSSON trade? Nope. Darn it. Greer's getting up. Oh, I was so excited. I thought we were getting a trade. That would have been awesome. Oh, Joel Lundquist. A little message for the latest pick. Is that Henry Lundqvist's father, Joel Lundquist? He looks like him.
Might be. Because there's two matching Lundqvists, but the other one plays over in Sweden.
Knies drafted when? So Knies was drafted a couple of years ago, but Matthew Knies, he came right out and said he wanted to finish college. So he kind of deferred to this past year when he finished. So here come the Sharks are up. They do have a jersey in hand, so they are making the pick. So again, no trade. There it is, Quentin Musty. Mark, your Musty has been taken.
I bet you never wanted to hear those words ever in your life.
Musty has been taken. This kid again has good hockey hair. What is it?
He has musty hair.
He's got musty hair. Quentin Musty. So he's a big guy. 200-pounder, 6'2". Why did he drop down and you take all these 5'11" guys over top of him? In Sudbury, the OHL, Musty threw 53 games played at 78 points last year. In the Helsinki Gretzky Cup, in 4 games, he had 5 points. And in 2021 in Sudbury, in 50 games, he had 31 points. In each year, he did have about 70 penalty minutes. So he gets in there and he can musty it up.
I think it's his name. People don't want to announce it. And the Musty's got the puck going down the right side.
There you go. Musty, another one. Wow, compared to Tom Wilson, Anders Lee, this is ridiculous. Why do you list a prospect? So Musty is compared to 2 NHLers and another prospect. That's just laziness by whoever wrote this. Beverly's getting in there. Beverly, you got me. Instead of focusing on becoming a speeder, Quentin Musty has leaned into finding ways to power his way down the ice. A confident, strong forward, which has great stick handling to escape any situation he can't get out of physically. I'd like to see quicker processing and decision-making, but when he adds those pieces, he'll be a very powerful addition. That sounds pretty good. I mean, you can teach some of those skills. You can't teach power and physicality. So, nice pickup here for San Jose. I was kind of thinking maybe he was going to drop down for our Maple Leafs, but not the case. So the Maple Leafs are now up on the clock. So maybe he was the guy the Maple Leafs were we're looking at, and they just couldn't put away with them. Oh no, Colorado is next up on the. Colorado is next, then Toronto. So Musty, Quentin Musty, good pickup for San Jose. All right, they're at commercial break. Thanks for making my arms. There you go. Artistics. All right, no need to spam. Leafs are coming up. Leafs are coming up soon. All right. Welcome and goodbye. Appreciate you. Take care. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. I'm calling Gavin Bradley to my ass.
Hey, don't spam.
Matthew's calling it. Gavin Bradley. Who else wants to put a prediction in for the Avs? I hate being right and wrong at the same time. There you go, Mark.
I say they trade Georgiev for a mop bucket.
Well, this could be Gavin Brindley could be one of the smaller players. Brindley is only 5'8", 168 pounds. Boy, wouldn't that be interesting?
I mean, unless they plan on skating him right through like the center of everyone's legs, like I don't. Water boy, that's awesome.
Oh man,
they're drafting him to be the next team mascot.
Why at 5 foot? I mean, you must be a very good hockey player if you're about to get drafted in the NHL at 5'8". What do they say about him? Now I'm curious. I need to know who this is.
So, I got to tell you right now, if I was 5'8", I would be the best fighter on the ice. I'm just telling you right now, because you know everybody's taking a run at you. Remember what we just said. Leaf's sitting in here at 6'4". He's 8 inches taller than him. Every hit's a hit to the head.
Yeah, that's true. So he's compared. So Brindley at 5'8" is compared to a Jaden Schwartz type player. He's continued to find the ways to be the most reliable player on his team. Year after helping the Tri-City to a stellar season finish, Brindley stepped into Michigan ready to make an impact the way he could. He's a very fast forward whose great skating posture lets him get the most out of every stride. And he's a relentless forechecker. Wow, a relentless forechecker at 5'8". Man, you got to be fearless. Fearless.
His nickname is the Gnat.
Gnat. Are the Golden Knights about to draft? The Golden Knights are not about to draft.
6 more.
All right, let's see what Colorado's going to do. Dave Keon was 5'8". That was a different game, though, when Dave Keon played it. Very different game.
Totally.
All right.
And you could use your stick as a weapon back then.
Yeah. Here come the Avs. Oh, Callum Ritchie is the pick. Callum Ritchie. So then I've got to go back to my list. Callum Ritchie. Oh. He played with a torn labrum almost all year. He was third on Oshawa with 59 points, averaged a point a game. With a torn labrum? How do you even do that?
I don't know.
Callum Ritchie, he is 6'2", 184 pounds center. For Oshawa, 59 games, 59 points. Wow.
Like, how do you shoot the puck and how do you get hit with a torn labrum?
That's crazy. Speaking of concerns I've had for a while, he's not a takeover kind of player. He's calm, reliable, two-way center who can be leaned on special teams. One that won't tilt the needle, but is great value. And value he'd take outside the first round. Okay. So he's a good, solid, reliable player, not necessarily first-round material. Ranked at 33rd, so just kind of on that cusp of first and second round. The Avs, again, the Avs know how to build a team. And if the Avs are looking at this kid, again, they see there's some great upside here that should be able to kind of play more of a depth player, I'm guessing. But maybe gets in some good special teams time. All right, that's going to bring the Maple Leafs to the board. What? Let's see if Toronto can mess up their pick even more than Dave's Rangers messed up theirs. So
I'm getting some breaking news here, Sam. Breaking news. Chris Drury's been on the phone with your management saying, hold my beer.
Now, if you remember last year when the Leafs had this pick around the bottom of the first round, they made a trade with Chicago, unloading Peter Mrazek, which was probably the move of the entire draft. So maybe Toronto will do something special and announce another earth-shattering trade here today.
Toronto's announced that they've traded with the New York Rangers for their first-round draft pick, who is 2 foot tall.
As of 5 minutes ago, Treliving is caught on the phone. He is having some serious conversations. Boy, wouldn't that be something if they could do it again. Maybe they're going to unload Matt Murray to Pittsburgh. Oh, I'd be just as happy as I was with Mrazek last year.
Be better if he could retrade Mrazek.
Let's see. I'm scrolling through the Twitter to see if there's any other action, but nothing other than he's on the phone. So man, that's cool. Callum Ritchie was actually highlighted on one of the Hockey Night in Canada's when they show the kids on the hockey team, and they're like, now over to Ron McLean on Hockey Night in Canada. Callum Ritchie was one of those kids with his minor league hockey team that did that, so that's cool. All right, so Treliving, it says pick is in, so I guess he's not making the trade. He's going to make the pick. Treliving with one of his, I guess, first draft move for the Maple Leafs de Toronto. What's he going to do? Does he not have a rest of a squad? He's walking up there alone. Is this like the rookie skate? He's the new GM, so they're making him go up by himself.
Hey, here, just go do this. Go.
Yeah. No Shanahan, nobody. He's literally walking up by himself. Oh, there's everybody else. All right, they're slowly coming in behind him. So who are they going to take? Maybe it's going to be a twofer. They're going to draft somebody as they come up and put the Leaf jersey on. They take the picture. Then they announce they've traded him, and he's got to take the Leaf jersey off and put on another jersey.
That'd be epic.
But we only got a couple of picks left to go in the first round. Here's Toronto, pick number 28. We'll bring in the audio.
The rest of the management group, Maple Leaf Sport and Entertainment, ready to make the Leaf selection at number 28. Let's take a look.
Come on, Leafs. Don't take the 5'8" kid.
5'8".
Gary Bettman wants to know who's making the selection. And here comes Treliving. Keefe is there.
Just wanted to thank the city of Nashville for some great hospitality. Thank Billy Garrett for the open bar bill at Tootsie's all week. And we'd like to congratulate and thank David Boyle. He's been a mentor to many of us, and congratulations on a great career. To make our selection, I'll call up our head scout, Wes Clark.
Toronto selects from the London Knights, Easton Cowan.
Easton Cowan, big cheer there for Easton. The only GM to thank Bill Guerin for the open bar tab. That was outstanding. All right, let's.
How's his hair, Sam? What's his hair look like?
He's still up in the shadows, which means he's probably low down on the list. 21 points in 20 games in the playoffs. So, hey, we'll take that. He's a playoff performer. He's still making his way down. Wow, he was sitting way up there. Really nice tie. London Knights are known traditionally for having a very good hockey organization. Mitch Marner came from the London Knights. This kid looks like he's about 12 years old. Great suit, though. Hair is okay. Hair is okay. What's that? No socks. He's got the suit with the... What color is that? It's like a mint green tie. Skinny tie. Dress shoes, no socks. Clearly, he's got the iPhone in the pocket, because that's a phone bulge if I've ever seen one. He's coming down. I still can't find him on my list. Unless I have his name spelled wrong. Let's see what they get it up here. Easton Cowan. Okay, I got his name spelled right. So should that be concerning that he's not on page 1 of my list?
If he's not on page 2, be very worried.
Easton Cowan, the midterm rank was 75. His final rank was 51. What are you doing, Toronto?
Oh, hey, and Toronto told the Rangers to hold my beer for a reason.
He's 5'10", so even smaller.
There we go.
170 pounds. In London, in 68 games, he had 47 points. Oh, my dear Lord.
I told you, Chris Drury called and said, hey, watch this.
He's not even on my other list. And this goes to 100.
List.
He's not even... You gotta be kidding me. This list of prospects goes 100 deep, and he's not even on here.
He's not on anyone's list, dude. He's not on his own list. He was like at home in the hotel room, and they said, hey, you might want to show up tonight. Toronto's going to take you.
The only Easton they should have picked was hockey sticks. Like, oh my God. So I have no idea what to tell you about this player because there's nothing, no write-up on him.
Just reread the guy that the Rangers picked. It's the same thing.
Let's check this other site. No, he's not even listed here.
You Google him and he doesn't have a page.
So, it's not. I can't even find him on Google.
Told you. Your GM's just trying to get fired.
Just okay. Let's hear. Oh, he was sitting on the wrong side of the arena. That's why it took him so long to get down. Easton Cowan. Easton. Oh my. Here he is. Okay, Easton Cowan. London Knights.
Moment of silence from Dallas Hockey Girl. Dallas, you're killing me.
Here he is. Easton Cowan is a highly intelligent and creative forward. He creates opportunities by outspeeding and outdangling the opposition. Cowan's hockey sense matches his quickness and his feet. He's able to link passing plays in transition, manipulate defensive gaps and clever movements, and finds pockets of space in the slot. That's based off Elite Prospects NHL Draft Guide. So in his interview, he pretty much was like, wow, they picked me?
Yeah.
So clearly he was not, nobody was anticipating, like.
So that when they called his name, his dad comes running out of the bathroom with toilet paper hanging out of his pants and a drink in his hand going, wait, what?
That's pretty much it. Thank God I'm a Florida Panther fan.
Like, seriously, it's like, wait, what? My kid, oh, wow, I've been sitting on the can. Time to run.
Oh, yeah, I still got to add his name into...
Everything?
Into everything. Yeah. Oh, my Lord. That was not good. That's not what I would have done. But hey, Easton Cowan, congratulations. You are Toronto Maple Leaf for the time being. You know what Tree Living is doing right now? That's what Tree Living is doing.
Oh, there's Dave. Hi, Dave.
Here comes the St. Louis Blues for... This is their third pick of the first round? It seems like...
I think they've picked every other pick. Like, it's like ridiculous.
What? Kid, the guy... he didn't even wait for the camera to get on it. Well, this kid looks like he's just coming down from his bar mitzvah. This is a very, very youngster. I mean, obviously he's 18, but he's got a very, very young looking face. I didn't catch his name because the guy said it so fast.
It's great hair.
He kind of looks like Nick Antropov. Lindstein, is that his name? Is that how you pronounce it? Lindstein. All right, let's find Lindstein. Theo Lindstein, a 6 foot. Why couldn't Toronto take a 6 foot defenseman?
See,
6 foot defenseman, played in Sweden, didn't put up a lot of points, but at least he's on page 1 of the European skaters. Theo Lindstein. Let's see if he's in the other page here. Hey, guess what he is? He's ranked 95th. Like Otto Stenberg, Lindstein seems to turn it up to 11 when he's wearing the 3 crowns. When he's on Lindstein's do-it-all blue liner. What? This is horribly written. He has great puck skills. He's a do-it-all defenseman. But when he's off, he cracks under pressure, can't find a groove. Enough to make anybody nervous.
Cracks under pressure. That's the guy I want in the playoffs.
Yeah. Let's pick a defenseman that cracks under pressure.
There's a breakaway. Gracious. Oh no.
That's right, Dallas. He came home early from the prom. Oh my gosh.
You
know, this draft started out so well. And we got some surprise picks. And now it's like, how low can we go? Where can we pull names from that just don't exist? But Theo, welcome to the NHL. The interesting pick. Gavin Bradley's to the Abs at 31 now. Sorry, Matthew still wants Bradley. You can have him, all 5'8" of them. St. Louis has another defenseman to get through. Yeah, they're stacking up those D-men. Listen, as much as we joke, as much as we have fun, in all seriousness, a huge congrats to all these NHL prospects. It is such a feat to get through the minor league hockey system, get into the OHL, the WHL, you know, the Swedish elite leagues, wherever they're playing, to get to the point where you're being drafted in the first round, second round. Even if you go undrafted and sign, it is a huge milestone to get this far in their young careers. So congratulations to all these prospects, and thank you for giving us something to laugh and joke about, because it's crazy.
We'll see most of you in 3 years.
Yeah, or more,
or never.
But that's the other thing too, is if you ever have the ability to go to a minor league hockey game, I highly encourage it. We go to the Toronto Marlies games. They're so much fun. The tickets are way less than an NHL game, and the skill is really good, and there's such great games to watch. So I highly recommend it. If you have a minor league team in your area, definitely check it out, and you'll get to see a lot of these kids. All right, let's see. BT still working for Calgary. Yeah. I don't understand that pick. Listen, we thought the Toronto Raptors made a ridiculous pick with their first pick this year. I don't know what to make of this Maple Leafs pick. We'll see. Social media, I guarantee you, is exploding right now, wondering what on earth is going on. But again, I'm sure there's a reason. The scouts don't come up and they're not sitting here looking at the available players saying, let's go with this guy and just randomly picking one. There's got to be a reason Toronto has drafted this guy. And again, London has a good talent pool. Oh, let's hear what Tree Living is saying here, if there's any rationale. Okay, so they're looking at the upside. Good skater, good playoff performance. So Tree Living, Elliot Friedman asked Tree Living, is there anything working? And Tree Living says, no, nothing cooking right now, but I wouldn't tell you even if there was. So typical GM. But man, what a bizarre pick. All right, here comes Don Waddell, the Carolina Hurricanes. They're coming up. Leafs go way off the board, select the center. Yeah, tell us something we don't know, Twitter. All these people are just writing who? Wow. This one person writes, he's at the Bridgestone Arena as Kyle Dubas took the podium earlier. Chants of fraud were going around the crowd. That's crazy. Nadeau, Bradley Nadeau, taken by the Carolina Hurricanes. Not a lot of excitement here from the family. Very, very calm, getting up, going down, shaking hands. He was the playoff MVP. Bradley Nadeau, another small guy, 5'10", 160 pounds. In Pennington in the BCHL, 54 games played, had 113 points. Bradley Nadeau, not seeing a... Here we go. Bradley Nadeau, compared to a Jake DeBrusk or Jordan Eberle type of player. I would take that. Those are two great players. Very strong offensive pace with proficiency in breaking through the neutral zone with pace and poise. When he's in the offensive end, Nadeau's shot is undeniably his defining trait. While a strong passer that can work well out of the corners and off the boards, he's most dangerous in the high slot where he excels, creating space and picking corners. While he may have the most questionable translatability out of the first round, his strong puck handling, shot, and drive to always be involved make him exciting. I think that's a heck of a write-up. Sounds like a good player.
It's better than the last three you read.
Yeah, especially because he's on page one.
Right.
This sheet had him listed at 29th, and so kind of falling in line where things were. Carolina drafting him at pick number 30. That is Bradley Nadeau. So we're coming down to the wire with the last two picks now. Montreal, which is actually Florida's pick, and Vegas Golden Knights will round out the first round here. Hey, Len, what's going on? Candy Army, welcome in. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us and tuning in. It's been quite a draft. If you're hanging along with us, if you haven't hit that like button, hit that like, and of course, hit that subscribe as well. And check out my good friend over here, the Bear Shark from the Florida Park Explorers. If you have not yet subscribed to the Florida Park Explorers, plain and simply, you're missing out. You will find me in their chat almost every day. They are in the Florida parks. They are shopping, helping you get the merch you want. They are helping you get the treats from the Disney parks you want. And not only that, they're travel agents. Shh, it's okay. You can tell people. If you want to go on a Disney cruise to the Disney parks, let them know. Yeah, Jonathan, there you go. So yeah, check him out, floridaparkexplorers.com, or just go to Florida Park Explorers on YouTube, and you will find the goodies. Gerard bringing out the Habs. The Habs.
And the Have-Nots.
And the Have-Nots, which you can clearly put both of our teams under tonight. Listen, maybe there's something big. Maybe they're going to go off the air. They're all going to be sitting around having those drinks on Bill Guerin, and something's going to break out saying, hey, here's some big moves we just made.
All right, so you're not in the same position I am. I'm sitting here going, I'm hoping after we get off tonight and that they're going to trade this kid for a second-round draft pick. Like, let's blow our first round to go get a second round, because that's about the only thing that could make this worse.
So the only thing I'd like to see this kid play, I got to go look at some of his London Knight footage. The London Knights over the years have developed some pretty remarkable players. They've had some pretty spectacular players go through their organization. So I'm kind of holding out to see, will that continue? I'm going to see.
You never know what's going to happen, especially these kids put some muscle on. They go through the programs. Their endurance goes up. They adapt their skill to the game, and you just never know. I mean, the talent scouts think they got it right, but in essence, they have no idea.
Yeah, no, it's very true. Like, I'm just looking some of the names from the London Knights: Connor McMichael, Evan Bouchard, Liam Foodie, Robert Thomas, Matthew Tkachuk was there, Max Jones, Mitch Marner, Christian Dvorak, Bo Horvat, Max Domi, Nikita Zerdov, Ollie Mata, Josh Anderson, Andres Anastasiou, names sticking off. Yeah, John Tavares was there, Kadri was there, Patrick Kane, Sam Gagne. So there's a lot of good players that have come out of the London Knights organization. Here comes Colorado. Pardon? MIKHAIL Guglyayev?
Googly eyes.
Here, MIKHAIL Gulyayev. That's going to be a fun one. He actually was ranked 10th of European skaters, 5'10", 172-pound defenseman in the OMSK Junior Russia Junior League. 22 games played, 25 points. In 21-22, 54 games played, 35 points. They're saying this could be a Samuel Girard, Cale Makar type of player. An incredibly talented puck-moving defenseman, but one that didn't seem to find new layers this year. It seems his growth in the MHL maxed out, but he consistently found a roster somewhere better. So continuing to develop, continuing to grow. A lot of potential, a lot of upside. So again, another one of these players. Hey, Colorado definitely not in a hot spot need of a defenseman. He'll play a couple of years in their minor league system and see what he can do. But again, not a ton of defensemen gone today, and no goalies in the first round,
which I'm not really surprised about.
And wait a second, I'm confused. I have Montreal Canadiens with the 31st pick. So why is Colorado picking? I'm not sure if... Oh, you know why? This probably just came over in the trade the other day. In the trade today. That must be what it is. So we're going to change this. Gul, Gayev. And this was Colorado. Blanche. From Florida via Montreal, I think. There we go. And now it's Vegas Golden Knights, the Stanley Cup champions. To round it out, look for Vegas to draft Jaden Perron, This kid is similar to Marshy. He scored 72 points last year for Chicago. Harley, that would be pretty good. Hey, if you could duplicate what Marchessault has done, that's pretty spectacular. Marchessault has been absolutely incredible and such a talent for the Vegas Golden Knights. Just incredible. Are there any good goalies? So that's a good question. The problem with goalies when it comes to drafts is goaltenders usually take a long time to develop. So there are some good goalies. There was one, Jacob Fowler. He was ranked number 22. He was a 6'1" goaltender compared to like Linus Ullmark, Jordan Binnington. I think he's the only in the top. Is he the only one in the top 50? Let me just do a quick scroll here. But yeah, not a ton of highly rated goalies. You'll see a lot more goalies go over the next couple of rounds, over the next couple of days. That's where they'll start to go. Yeah, so it looks like just the one is the top rated. All right, the pick is in for the Vegas Golden Knights. They're making their way down to the draft table. Can we say what's the history of the 32nd pick overall? Well, not really, because we've just started with 32 picks. So far, actually, no, there is a lot. Why is there? That's weird. Did I type that in wrong? Anyways, some of the hot spots picking at the end of the draft, at the end of the first round: Shane Pinto, Matthias Samuelsson, Connor Timmins, Tyler Benson, Christian Fischer, Ty Ratty, Slava Voyanov. I remember Voyanov. Dave Boland, Ryan Stone, Derek Waugh. So who is it going to be? Who is going to end up closing out the first round? Is it going to be Mr. 5'8"? Harley's calling Jaden. Let's see. Let's pull up Jaden here real quick if I can get it before Vegas makes the selection. Jaden Perron, 5'9". He's ranked 43rd on the list here. Let's see this other site. This site has him at 59. Well, let's wait and see if you're right. What does Vegas do to close out the first round of the draft?
They bet it all on gold.
David Poile on a tremendous career as a general manager in the National Hockey League, and echo the comments of many of my previous colleagues, thanking him for his mentorship and leadership in the game. So all the best to you in the future, David. The Vegas Golden Knights are pleased with the 32nd selection in the first round of the entry draft to select from Frölunda, Sweden, David Edstrom.
Oh, you're wrong. David Edstrom. Here, let's find David Edstrom. David Edstrom. Edstrom thrives thanks to his ability to fit perfectly in systems. He's always in the right spot, keeping him open to teammates, revealing tension when plays get too clogged up. While he can certainly keep up with fast-moving play, he's not the type to spark it on his own. Instead, he's a fairly slow, methodical player, and it serves him well in many regards, but it also limits his upside. Interesting pick here by the Vegas Golden Knights to end this. Somebody that, you know, they hope to build and mold. They're saying this is a great pick by Vegas. So he was ranked 82. Let's look here. So he has to really work hard. Thank you, Thumb. Thank you for the subscribe. Appreciate that. I can't even find him on here. But it doesn't matter. I can close these windows because that is a wrap. This draft is officially closed. Let's just make sure.
Weird draft.
A very weird draft. You know, we had the big Bedard to kick it off. No trades at all. The first trade in a long, or first draft in a long time that I can think of. No trades, no goaltenders, some
and
very
no
bizarre picks.
Blockbuster anything. You know, like nothing blockbuster. It was like, I'm shocked.
Yeah, this was very, very bizarre. Maybe they're holding it back for the weekend. Maybe they're holding it back to get things done before kind of July 1st hits. Listen, there's still a lot of free agents out on the board. It's going to be interesting what happens. We're obviously going to know Saturday as July 1st opens up. Griff, what's going on? Welcome in. But listen, I want to thank you all for coming and hanging out with us throughout the evening. Whether you're happy with your team's picks or you're not, they are locked in, and time will tell now as we see what happens. Of course, the big ones at the top, Connor Bedard going first, followed by Leo Carlsson in a surprise move by Anaheim. Fantilli goes to Columbus. The rapping rapper himself, Will Smith, goes to the San Jose Sharks. David Reinbacher to Montreal. Dmitry Smiashev to Arizona. MICHKOV to Philadelphia. Ryan Leonard to Washington, and so on and so forth. So you'll definitely be able to see those. The highlight of the night for me, well, I guess the number 2 highlight for me was the fact that Carey Price completely botched his name when calling out his draft pick. So we'll have that posted tomorrow so you can see that. But my number 1 highlight of the night was sharing the screen with this man right here. Thank you, Bear Shark, for coming in and hanging out with us. Much appreciated. It's always great to talk hockey with you.
Thanks for having me, dude. You know I love coming in, and you can do this all by yourself. I just kind of sit here, break some stones, have some fun, point out ridiculousness, and at the end of the day, we always have a good time talking hockey, hanging out, and I just can't wait to see what you do this year. We're looking forward to your 10K, because you're on your way, hitting 10K early. Let's see if you can have a huge year this year. You are one of the best sportscasters out there. It's an absolute privilege to share a screen with you.
Thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. Yeah, we're gonna have some fun this year. We're gonna party up, and the best part about it is Arizona's still gonna suck. Sorry, Arizona fans. I'm
gonna have to get a Wile E. Coyote shirt.
Yeah, the 2 constants in hockey: Arizona sucks, and George Peros doesn't know what he's doing. The rest of it is all gravy. Again, thank you, mods, for hanging out and doing what you do. Appreciate it. And thank you to our channel members for continuing to support the channel throughout these summer months. We're still going to have a whole lot of fun for you all. And of course, for those that watched along, hit the like, hit the subscribe tonight. We appreciate you. Again, check out the Florida Park Explorers, and we'll see you in their chats as well throughout the days. And listen, just have a kick butt night. That's right, Dallas. Keep it real, hockey fans. Go hockey, go. And we'll see you another time. Take care, everybody. From the draft in Nashville, not in Nashville, it's the Bear Shark. Over there, the Bear Shark. I'm Samuel B12. Have a great night. We'll see you real soon.